husky. Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes You take some time to say goodnight, you close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here.
It's a brand new day, never hold on to hate, cause you was placed here to be great. Please take your place, all queens got a seat at my table, cause without y'all, then the man ain't able. Melanated queen, connected to the universe, and so I gotta thank my mom for my birth. If hate is the curse, then love is the remedy. So I send you love no matter creed or identity, until infinity, look at you like you kin to me. Even when we disagree, yo, you still kin to me. In other words, I can't bring you no trouble, can't bring you no beef, don't wanna see you deceased. Now if I'm coming at you, I'm coming with a business plan, cause every day I'm on some, yo, let's get this money, man. Yeah, and that's my real plans. I rest my head at night, I wake up, I got another plan.
Good morning, it's another day, my friend. But soon the sunshine turns to moonlight, life goes You take some time to say goodnight, you close your eyes to dream next thing tomorrow's here.
It's a lot of high rappers, tell me why we don't get money together.
All right, y'all know what to do. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. We gonna go ahead and get into it. Happy Wednesday morning, y'all. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Hopefully y'all are doing well. We back in the building. All right, everybody, it looks like we're looking good. Good to see everyone in here. Let's make sure we're looking good as well. Oh, there we go. Looking all crispy and clean on the screen. I left my glasses on again. I'm out here exposing myself, y'all. Y'all want me to do the whole show like this? Welcome to another YouTube. Welcome to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the Music Morning Show. I'm your host, ClassE Beats of ClassEbeats.com. Today, we got some amazing content for y'all. Y'all know what time it is. We are going to be checking out this YSL trial. Another day back in here, listening to some craziness, dealing with some comfort breaks and all that good stuff. It's going to be a good time. But before we get into it, let me say what's up to everybody who's in the chat, man. Good to see y'all. Shout out to, here we go. Oh, we got everybody up in here. Paris, Italy is in the building. Shout out to Paris, Italy. Hope Rhonda is in here. She loves giving the spoiler alert. Shout out to Hope Rhonda. Andrea's in here. Mr. Tesla, Lori, Taiki, Valencia, Fanny. Oh, Fanny? All right, it's not your fault, Fanny. Shout out to Fanny. Bellamy, not to be confused with Fanny Willis. JC is in here. We've got Kesha, McKinley. We've got Nick is in the building. Jennifer, Tanya, Elizabeth. Oh my gosh. We've got Melanie in here. Let me give y'all another round of applause. Randall's in the building. Kirsty, Steph, JK is up in here. What's up, Steph? Miss Murphy's in the building too. Shout out from Texas. We've got Walter Waller Custom Leather. Oh my gosh. We've got Brenda Berryman is in here. D is in the building. Factual Lie. One of my favorite usernames. John is in here. Salute, sir. Thank you for your service to John. We've also got Alicia's in here. Snake, Taran, Tamara. Oh my gosh. Adrienne is in the building too. Not to be confused with Adrienne Love. We've got Amy up in here dropping the ones. Lucky Lisa is in the building. Okay, that's a dope name. Shout out to Lucky Lisa. We also have Kendrick. Dang, I'm gonna miss a bunch of y'all in here. We got Spade Jones. Amy reminding y'all the #1 way you can support the show, and that is by liking the video. So if y'all could do me a favor, take 2.5 seconds. Make sure you like the video on your way in. Not only does it help the show continue to grow, but it lets the YouTube algorithm know that y'all are enjoying the show, and it shares it with more people too. We've got Young Dreads is up in here. Okay, I see you. Who else? Let me make sure. I know I missed a couple of y'all. Young Dreads is in here. We got Elisa Odor of Mendacity. Lauren Robinson, Beautiful Messy Ball is in the building too. Good to see you. Katie's in here. Laura is in the building too. Shout out to Laura. We've got Snokey Stokes is up in here. My dog Javier LaFleur, one of our amazing resident attorneys, is in the building. Scott and Marcy Brawner are in here too. They said, love your coverage of the latest Obsession. Appreciate you. Thank you. Carmaine is in here. Mr. Mud. We're going to be doing shout outs for 2 hours. We got Sean P is up in here. McKinley's in the building. Trish. Shout out to Trish. I think I said what's up to everybody. Oh, we've got Lavisa is in here as well. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all give me a second. As you can tell, I'm a little bit congested this morning. I don't know what hit me, but we got to take care of that real quick. Hold on. We're going to get it together one of these days. Was out at soccer practice yesterday, and every single time that grass, it gets me. So hopefully y'all are doing well this morning. So a lot of things are going down. As some of y'all may or may not know, court started this morning, and we have a new witness that is going to be joining us on the stand, Mr. Antonio Sledge. Interesting enough, I had no idea Antonio Sledge was going to be brought up as the next witness, but we actually did 2 videos on him on Monday. So if y'all haven't checked that out, the link to those videos is in the description. But y'all can go check him out over on the ClassE Beats YouTube channel. I went through his plea deal, and we also talked about and watched his sentencing go down by the predecessor, Judge Glanville. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it real quick. I want to go back through his plea deal. So just in case y'all missed what happened and what went down, or you didn't watch those videos, first of all, make sure you go back and watch those videos and hit a like while you're over there. But I also want to, oh, hold on. Let me pause this music real quick. But I also want to show y'all what we're kind of getting into. And this plea deal is one of the craziest plea deals I have ever seen. So we watched it go down when Judge Glanville sentenced, and actually reading through the plea deal so you can kind of see what we're getting into. And one of the things that they were discussing this morning is Miss Love really wants to let the jury know that no matter what Monktunk, aka Antonio Sledge, says on the stand, he has already taken the guilty plea. Not only that, but he in a sense has said that YSL is a gang. So she wants to make that very clear. But y'all check out this plea deal. We're going to go through it real quick. Y'all can see this went down on December 27th of 2022. Here are the current charges. They're just 2. I say just 2. Shouldn't be that big of a deal, but I think y'all are going to be surprised about what's going on with this plea deal. Current charges are count 1, conspiracy to violate the RICO. We all know about that. And then count 2, or count 30, we should say, but this is second charge. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. So yeah, you can't be committing violent crimes and having a gun. It's just the way it is. So here's what they negotiated. Y'all check this out. Count 1, 15 years to serve on probation. It ain't great. That ain't great, but it gets better. And shout out to our resident attorney, Javier LaFleur, says you got to admit to a factual basis with the plea deal. That's why you'll hear them say YSL is a gang during the plea. Yep, and we're going to get to that in a second. Y'all bear with me. Excuse me. Oh, man. So we've got that going on, right? Then count 30. Sentencing withheld until the completion of the initial trial of this case. After the initial trial of this case, provided defendant has complied with the special conditions outlined in section B, C, D, and F, and I of section 3, special conditions of the sentence of this plea agreement, the state agrees that defendant shall be allowed to withdraw his guilty plea on count 30, and the state shall agree to count 30. Now, here's the thing here. Initially, Judge Glanville said it was going to be 30 years. 30 years probation. Which is crazy. If y'all are expecting someone who not only was a convicted felon before and used, I mean, y'all see it here, right? He had the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm. And then he's got another felony on top of that. And then he's got a RICO. Y'all think he's going to make it 30 years without messing up this probation? It's insane. So this is pretty much for the rest of his life. So we're going to go through and look at what they say in the special conditions of the sentence. And then we have the individual factual acknowledgments that Javier LaFleur mentioned. We're going to go through here as well. All right. Dang, y'all give me 1 second. I'm struggling this morning. All right. I think we're good. I think that's the one we needed. Defendant shall abide in full by each of all of the terms of this negotiated agreement. Defendant's failure to abide by any terms of this agreement shall constitute a violation of the agreement. Pretty straightforward, right? Defendant shall testify truthfully about all matters relating to this case upon which he is questioned at any trial or judicial proceeding stemming from the facts alleged in this indictment. In accordance with testifying truthfully about all matters relating to this case, defendant acknowledges that each and all the statements contained within the defendant's factual acknowledgement section of this agreement are true. Okay. And then they basically say, yeah, do what you're supposed to do, act right, and all this stuff. Defendant's factual acknowledgments. This is where it gets crazy. All right. So y'all make sure you listen carefully and keep in mind as to what the defendant initialed line by line, number by number, and said that these things are true. Number one, Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include, but are not limited to, colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Okay, so that's number one. Now, this does not say that YSL is a gang, which is what Miss Love is trying to get Judge Whitaker to let the jury know that he's agreed to, or that he's said are factual. So we haven't gotten there yet. This isn't saying they're a gang. It says they're an organization made up of 3 or more members. Is that technically a gang? I mean, we could say so, but we're going to keep it moving. I'm going to let her argue that. Number 2, defendant has been a member and or associate of YSL since 2012. It's a music label. Exactly. Number 3, while associated with YSL and to support and express loyalty to YSL, defendant and co-defendants Demekion Garlington and Quandarius Zachary appeared in the video with other persons, Antonio Sledge, wherein defendant brandished a weapon used in a drive-by shooting, and wherein on behalf of YSL, defendant threatened to harm a person named Kel, which we know is related to Big Nut, a rival gang member who had begun a relationship with defendant's ex-paramour / girlfriend. Oh, Lord. We got drama in the hood. Number 4, on or about April 28, 2015, as reflected in the Fulton County indictment. I'm not going to read that number. Defendant and fellow YSL associates Demekion Garlington and Quandarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting using the firearm defendant wielded in the video referenced in part 3 of this section, targeting family members of a rival gang. Defendant and his fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3 and 4 above on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL. I mean, there's no going back from this, right? Antonio Sledge said that the things that they did for YSL. This is going to be a problem. Snokey Stokes said it. He said, damn, always a woman involved. Always. Number 6, defendant admitted committing and was convicted of aggravated assault and participation in criminal street gang activity among other charges for his participating in drive-by shooting referenced in section 3, 4, and 5 above. Defendant was told by another YSL associate that immediately after the murder of Donovan Thomas, YSL associates met at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia to discuss the murder. Interesting thing about this is Little Woody kind of had a different story and saying a lot of these things are lies. So obviously his testimony isn't going to be brought back in during Antonio Sledge. I mean, maybe it will, but it'll be interesting to see how they contrast the two, because it sounds like we're hearing two different stories. Number 8, defendant personally knows that one or more YSL associates committed the murder of Donovan Thomas on behalf of YSL. Oh, this guy. Okay, I gotta put a poll in the chat, and I want to ask y'all a question we talked about yesterday. Is Antonio Sledge a bigger snitch than Lil Woody? I'll be interested to see what y'all say about that one. Defendant personally knows that one or more YSL associates committed the murder of Donovan Thomas on behalf of YSL. I can't wait to hear what this is about. On January 10th, 2015, after the murder of Donovan Thomas, defendant and other YSL associates gathered at the home of Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, who gave defendants and other YSL associates cash money to lay low. Defendant has personal knowledge that on January 10th, 2015, after the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., YSL associates traveled to Miami, Florida with co-defendant and YSL founder Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug. Defendant did not murder Donovan Thomas and was not a party to the crime. Now, this was mentioned in Lil Woody's immunity deal, which I can go back over for y'all too. I meant to bring it up yesterday, but it completely slipped my mind, and I have it for y'all if we want to go back through Lil Woody's immunity deal. But this was something that was mentioned there, just Woody not being able to say that he was the one who murdered Donovan Thomas, and he also couldn't lie on the stand and plead the fifth. A couple other things there, right? All right, we'll keep it going. Number 12, defendant did not murder Mr. Drinks and was not party to the crime. Defendant cannot truthfully assert that the persons charged in this indictment with the murder of Donovan Thomas are not guilty for the murder. And defendant will make no attempt at trial, prior to trial, or after trial to exonerate the persons charged in this indictment with the murder of Donovan Thomas Jr. So he can't pull Lil Woody. This is a lot different than an immunity deal. He can't say that, yeah, I know I took a plea, but y'all just got me up here and none of these guys really killed Donovan Thomas Jr. So if y'all thought Lil Woody was the second coming of Aretha Franklin, man, Mook Took is about to be up there singing. So he's coming up to the stand right now. We're going to let them get settled. I'm going to finish read through this and then we'll go to the live feed if y'all are ready. I think they're swearing them in right now. Number 14, the gas station at 151 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia is one of multiple locations where YSL associates sell drugs and do not allow other gangs to operate. The gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia is another location where YSL associates sell drugs and do not permit other gangs to operate. Number 16, defendant has personal knowledge that he and other members or associates of YSL have either participated in or directly committed at least one of the following crimes in order to increase the notoriety and reputation of YSL: murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault, attempted murder, theft, illegal gun possession, illegal drug possession, and sales. So all of that y'all just heard are the defendant's factual acknowledgments. So basically, what's going to happen this first day? I know Miss Love is going to be up there. This is her witness. She was a part of the proceedings with his plea and sentencing. She's going to read through this line by line. And Mr. Sledge, you better say what you got to say about this, because you initialed every single line. God dang. So last but not least, we have the defendant's sentencing acknowledgments. Okay. Number one, defendant understands fully that if he violates any provision or any special condition of this plea agreement, the district attorney can and will use the contents of this document/agreement during any judicial proceeding. Don't even make me bring this up. And we tell these guys and remind these guys of why you're doing what you're doing, because we'll do it. Number two, defendant understands fully that if he violates any provision or special conditions of this plea agreement, his probation for this sentence may be revoked in its entirety, and the district attorney will recommend that the defendant serve any remaining portion of his sentence in confinement at the Georgia Department of Corrections, aka prison. Thank you for clarifying that, by the way. We were definitely confused. Number three, defendant understands fully that any violation of any provisions or any special condition of this plea agreement shall result in defendant being a sentence to count 30 of this indictment, and the district attorney will recommend that defendant serve the maximum sentence allowed by law. Oh, woo. There's no going back from this one. This is not immunity. This is way different, y'all. Defendant understands fully that if prior to the conclusion of the initial trial of this case, defendant fails to or refuses to testify on to any of the facts that he acknowledges in this plea agreement, such failure or refusal nullifies any promise made by the district attorney's office to, I'm not going to pronounce it because I don't know the word, count 30 of this indictment. Defendant understands fully that defendant's violation of any provisions or of any special condition of this plea agreement prior to the conclusion of the initial trial of this case shall nullify any promise made by the district attorney on count 30 of this indictment and may result in the defendant sentenced to serve as much as 35 years of confinement in the Georgia Department of Corrections. Oh, man. Defendant understands fully that no promises, agreements, or conditions have been made other than those set forth in this document. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. This is some of what y'all can expect to hear while Mr. Sledge is on the stand, which I believe he is up there now. So we're going to go ahead and check out our next witness. Is this Lil Woody 2.0? Valencia said, what the hell kind of lawyer he got? Hey, it must have not been looking good for Mr. Sledge if that's the plea deal he took, because this is the worst plea deal I've ever seen in my life. We got a couple super chats and then we'll keep it going. Shout out to Pam this morning, dropping the 10 pounds over there. I said euros last time. She corrected me. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate the support. And again, if y'all could, super chats are amazing, and I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show, and I appreciate everybody who supports with super chats. But the number one way you can support the channel is if y'all could like the video. So could you take 2 seconds, click that like button, because not only does it help the show to grow, not only is it free, but it lets the algorithm know you guys are enjoying the show and it shares it with more people. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Might be easier than, because I think when you proposed it orally,
and good morning, everybody I missed.
A statement. I think you were talking more specifically about a statement not consistent with the charges to which they pled, then consider the guilty plea as substantive evidence, which again gets us in that.
We're going to skip ahead. Shout out to Kyrese. Good morning. Good to see you. Oh, Kyrese, I said this yesterday.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your
She said,
this morning. We started well before y'all, I promise, but
Kyrie said, imagine violating in year 21 only to be sentenced to the maximum after that. It's a death sentence. Kyrese, you are exactly right. And I mentioned this yesterday, either yesterday or on Monday. I said, can you imagine you're almost at the end and then you get pulled over. Police officers having a bad day, and you maybe, oh man, they toss a throwaway in your car and say, "Hey man, is that your gun in there?" Done. Jesus.
It just takes lawyers and judges a long time sometimes on things. So
I have no idea, Bridgetta.
we're ready now, and thanks again for being patient.
Oh, I need to turn it up.
All right,
Thank you. Thank you. I got y'all.
Ms. Love, y'all's next witness is on the stand, and I think still needs to be sworn.
Yes, Your Honor. This is Mr. Antonio Sledge.
I got y'all on the volume. It should be good now.
Yeah, you're.
What's
I
up,
apologize.
MC?
This is witness Antonio Sledge.
All right, y'all know what time it is.
Have you ever had a dream that you
Get ready for it. This is Miss Love's witness, so.
And Mr. Sledge, if you wouldn't mind that tall mic, just kind of reach up and try to. Thank you. There you go.
Name Antonio
That's
Sledge,
intentional, Aquastar.
ANTONIOSLEDGE.
Good morning, Mr. Sledge, and you are perfectly situated, turning to the jury so that they can hear you. I'm going to stand over here so that you speak loud enough so that the last juror can hear you, okay?
Yes,
Thank you.
Here we go.
Mr. Sledge, would you please tell the jury how old you are?
43 is the age.
Bro.
Where did you grow up?
Atlanta, Georgia.
What part of the city did you grow up in?
Downtown Atlanta.
Did you also go to high school in Atlanta?
Yes,
And what high school did you attend?
Southside High School.
Did you finish?
No,
What grade did you finish? The last grade you completed?
probably the 9th grade.
By ninth grade, could you read and write though?
Yes,
All right. Now,
How's the sound, y'all?
do you have brothers and sisters?
yes, brothers.
How many?
3 living.
Where did you fall in line with
He
your
said
siblings?
311.
Oldest, youngest, middle?
Next to the youngest.
All right.
All right, sounds good.
Do you know of a person named Kenneth Copeland who answers to the name Woody?
Uh-oh.
Yes,
All right. You sort of frowned up your face. Why'd you do that?
no reason.
We getting messy already. Come on now.
Do you know of a person named Jeffrey Williams who answers to the name Thug?
Yes,
All right, so y'all know
What
Woody's about to take some heat
a
right now.
person named Shannon Stillwell or Shannon Jackson who answers to the name SB?
yes,
Do you know a person named Diamante Kendrick who answers to the name Yak?
yes,
Do you know a person named Demekion Garlington who answers to the name Lil D?
yes,
All right, yeah. I'm not going to talk about my past and the people I know. But anybody who knows about the streets and about respect, y'all know exactly what's going on right here. Miss Love said, "Oh, that's so nice of you to face the jury." Y'all know how disrespectful what he's doing right now is. Nasty work.
Do you know a person
Face
named
those, turn and face
Quindarius
those
Zachary,
dudes, man.
who
Come
also
on.
answers to the name Lil D?
yes.
How do you distinguish one Lil D from the other when you're just talking in regular conversation?
I call both of them D.
Okay. And if someone asks you which D, how do you respond?
Disrespectful.
If you're talking about Quindarius Zachary,
D. Lil D.
Lil D. Do you know of a person named Rodelius Ryan?
No,
Do you know of a person named Marquavius Huey who goes by the name Quay?
no, I don't know him, but I've heard it around the way.
So you do know of him, or you?
I know of him.
Okay. What about Quamarvius Nichols. Do you know of a person named Quamarvius Nichols who answers to the name Quay as well?
Of him.
Do you know a person named Quantavius Greer who answers to the name Umfunk?
Yes.
Do you know of a Dolly Greer
Nasty.
or a Max Greer?
Yes.
What about Dora Greer?
Yes.
All right. Do you know them to be Jeffrey Williams' sisters?
Yes.
Now tell the jury, if you will, how well you would say that you know Jeffrey Williams.
I've been knowing Jeffrey Williams since he was probably like 16.
How many years would that make it that you've known him?
What is 2024?
Man, this really bothers me. I hate to keep interrupting y'all. The chat knows, like this his whole posture right here. I don't like him already. I do not like this dude already. I haven't seen him other than his sentencing, but this is disrespect of the highest regard. I'm gonna let it go. I'm sorry to everybody watching, but this is not gonna be good for Young Thug. I can already feel it.
It's been a minute. I can't really.
It's hard to watch.
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Y'all know this is, hey, you good territory? Somebody does this to you in person? You cool? We got a problem?
No.
If it was when he was 16, about
this
how
is
old
hard
were
to
you
watch.
when you first met him?
I was 20 something. I'm probably like 26.
And you don't even got to
I'm
ask
about
at this
like
point.
10 years older than Jeffrey.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Tell the jury, if you will, how well you know Shannon Stillwell or SB.
Exactly, Javi.
Well, I met Shannon around like 2014, 15, somewhere in that area.
When you say you met him around 2014 or 2015, what does that mean for you in terms of how well you know him?
I know we built a great relationship.
And was that from the start? From the time that you met him to now, you all have had a great relationship, or is that something different?
You said could you repeat yourself?
Yes, I can. Did you all have that great relationship that you just described for the jury from the moment that you all met, or did it develop over time?
From the time that we met.
Okay. And do you all still have that same great relationship?
Well, I haven't talked to Shannon because he's been incarcerated.
Okay, hold up. Your Honor, we would move to strike that last portion.
Yeah, please disregard that. All right. Give me just a second. Y'all didn't even get comfortable. I'll have to excuse y'all and see you back again in a few minutes.
Dang, what happened? I missed it
All
because
right.
I'm over here mad at this. Man, listen.
Just describe for the jury from the moment that you all met, or did it develop over time?
From the time that we met.
Okay. And do you all still have that same great relationship?
Well, I haven't talked to Shannon because he's been incarcerated.
Okay, hold up. Your Honor, we would move to strike that last portion.
Yeah, please disregard that.
Oh, God.
All right.
This is bad.
Give me just a second. Y'all didn't even get comfortable. I'll have to excuse y'all and see you back again in a few minutes.
Mr. Sledge, could you step outside?
Starting already. Yeah, that's not good. Shout out to Beautiful Messy Ball. Oh, you changed your name. Says jury is supposed to know the defendants are in custody. This man's been up here for 5 minutes and they're losing control already. Yo, Lavisa, I'm telling you, she said just his demeanor is pissing me off. He is not a man, not even looking at these guys. Listen, if you know, you know. It's bothering me and I'm super distracted by it. I can't even look at the video. That's why I'm watching the comments. Carvey said he got ClassE mad as hell. Listen. I'm not the type, but hey, if we're in the same room or we sitting at the same table,
Your Honor, may it please court,
you tell her like
on behalf of
this,
Mr. Stillwell, we are
got a
moving
problem.
for a mistrial at this time. There's been a
Oh,
comment
man.
about my client, comment from witness Antonio Sledge about my client being incarcerated. It is prejudicial to my client, suggests a criminal history, it suggests a flight risk.
he can't say that.
It prejudices my client. Also, Your Honor, I would just note for the record that Mr. Sledge, my understanding is Mr. Sledge has been
It's not gonna happen. You're right, Uncle
cooperative
Star.
with the state, meaning he's made himself available. His attorney, Mr. Derek Wright, is here. Mr. Sledge has been here all morning. There's absolutely no reason that the state knew what questions they were going to ask. They knew that they were going to ask about the relationship with my client at this time. The duty is on the state to prepare their witnesses to not relay or testify to prejudicial material, such as my client being incarcerated throughout this trial, and they failed to do so. So we're moving for a mistrial at this time.
Yeah, there's a reason they don't bring these guys in here in chains and the black and whites or in the orange jumpsuits. You're innocent until proven guilty. And if they know that SB is locked up right now, someone mentioned it. It's tainting the jury.
Judge, the state objects to a mistrial. The
Of course you do.
question that I posed was not one I expected this witness to bring up Mr. Stillwell's incarceration.
No,
We'd
you're not,
ask
Amy.
simply for a limiting instruction
until
for a
proven
few
guilty.
reasons. One, Mr. Shart indicated that his mistrial motion is based on the witness's reference to Mr. Stillwell's incarceration. There has been admitted as evidence that Mr. Stillwell got incarcerated at some point. We expect further testimony to come out with details about Mr. Stillwell's becoming incarcerated. And the witness's statement on the stand, even where I asked that it be struck, does not rise to the level of meriting or warranting a mistrial. And I can go outside and further caution him to not talk about anyone's incarceration.
Okay, and isn't Mr. Stillwell in fact charged in this indictment with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon?
He is.
Okay.
He is, Your Honor, and I don't think there's any dispute that my client was incarcerated at some point. He's been arrested for these charges. I mean, I think everyone would acknowledge that. But the fact that he's still incarcerated, and I just don't understand how the state could ask, how's your relationship with him on this date or today? And they wouldn't expect a witness who apparently wasn't prepped to say, oh, well, actually, I haven't been able to talk to him because he's incarcerated. That seems like a very
Well, that's
likely
not
answer.
exactly what happened.
Well, whatever the transcript shows,
It's not accurate,
It
Anthony.
seems like that was a very predictable answer to that question.
Okay, I mean, it sounded to me the way it came up. Please do further caution him, but it did not sound like that came up as a purposeful question to secure that kind of evidence before the jury. It was essentially like, how is your relationship with Mr. Stillwell? Well, he'd been incarcerated. That could be, and that's all that he ended up saying. That could have been at any point in the past. That did not indicate right now he is presently incarcerated. I'm going to deny the motion for mistrial.
Of course she is.
If you want a further any kind of instruction, let me know that. But given that evidence has already and is going to come out that at some point in Mr. Stillwell's past, he has been incarcerated, this really is nothing beyond what they're going to know anyway.
May I step outside?
You may. Do you want any sort of other instruction, curative instruction?
May I have a moment?
Sure.
Yeah, he wants a mistrial. What you talking about? And I see y'all talking about the innocent until proven guilty thing. Good morning, Kim. Shout out to Kim Possible. Yeah, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty, but we all know the court of public opinion is very, very powerful, and people are going to believe what they want to believe. People are going to see things. They're going to hear things. And a lot of these guys have already been convicted.
Yes.
I believe that
instances.
you have already instructed the jury to disregard the last comment. So at this point, I don't want to bring more attention to it. I would, for the record, though, renew my motion for mistrial to preserve this issue and reserve it before the next questions.
All right, understood.
Thank you.
Shout out to PDM, says, after the 100th unintentional slip/violation of the rules, what even matters anymore? These prosecutors are going to have a hard time after this case. Yeah. And Judge Whitaker's not letting this go. She's made that very clear. We're going to skip ahead here in a second. I want to see what some of y'all are saying. Shout out to Songbird McNair, said, let's get ClassE's likes to match the Y. Oh, thank you to all 3,800 of y'all in the building. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all like the video. Shout out to Amy. Kim says, good morning. Terry's in here as well. Crazy K, I see you. Jess, I see you. Who else did I miss? Sean is back in here too. What's up, Sean? Man, listen. I'm sorry for those of y'all who aren't a part of a certain type of culture. I get it. But if Mr. Sledge comes back up here,
all right, we're ready for the jury.
I'm not going to be able to keep it together. I'm going to have to look at this screen over here because that bothers me. Someone needs to straighten him up. The bailiff needs to get him or something. Appreciate you, Monica. Shout out to Amy. Yo, look, Lavisa, I'm not gonna be able to do it. Y'all ever had your grandma tell you to straighten up? Yo, tell the court reporter looks like she can handle it. She need to reach over and smack him on his arm. Straighten up. I'm gonna be all right, Amy. It's fine. No. PM, we're gonna find out about it here in a second. Miss Love was getting into it. One of the first things she asked him was, do you know Kenneth Copeland, aka Lil Woody? And he made a face, and she said, oh, why'd you make that face? He said, don't worry about it.
All right, thank you very much.
I appreciate you, Yodi. Thanks for coming over, man. Holden, good morning. Michi, welcome to the member side. Thank you.
May we continue?
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr.
Amy.
Sledge, when was the last time that you spoke with Shannon Stillwell, or SB?
2022.
What was your relationship like in 2022, the last time that you spoke with him?
Good terms.
All right. Since 2022, has anything soured the way you feel about Mr. Stillwell?
No.
I asked you if you know a person by the name of Rodelius Ryan. I failed to ask you if you know a person who goes by the name Lil Rod.
I heard him. He very younger than me, so
Okay.
You know.
Do you recognize that person to be in the courtroom today? If you just look around.
Yes.
All right. Would you describe what he's wearing for the jury and describe his seating
He was
position?
sitting between the lady with the white hair and the one with the dreads.
Your Honor, would the record please reflect that the witness has identified Rodelius Ryan?
It'll say reflect.
Thank you. Now, when did you first meet Rodelius Ryan, or Little Rod, as you know him?
We never really had a personal conversation or nothing like that.
How was it that you came to know of him?
Just in a certain area, like the Cleveland Avenue area.
When you say in the Cleveland Avenue area, is that the area that you grew up in?
No, I used to go to the park in Cleveland Avenue.
What park on Cleveland Avenue?
Cleveland Avenue Park.
Now, Cleveland Avenue Park, do you call it anything other than Cleveland Avenue Park?
No.
All right. And when you say you used to go to the park and you met Mr. Ryan in that area, what was the occasion?
I used to go over there and play basketball, shoot basketball.
Did you play basketball with Mr. Ryan?
No.
Okay. So what were the circumstances that you got to know who Lil Rod is?
Just by people saying his name.
And who was it that introduced you to or told you who Lil Rod is?
Me and him never was introduced to each other.
Okay. Is it then fair to say you don't know him very well at all?
No.
All right. Please tell the jury how well you know Quindarius Zachary.
I've been knowing Quindarius Zachary since he was a child.
How old as a child?
I don't recall on that.
Fair enough. Do you recall generally about how old you were when you first met him?
I was young too.
This is
15, 16?
AKA Antonio Sledge. Get
Yeah,
out the way,
right,
Miss
probably
O.
around that age.
Okay. And did you all ever go to high school or anything like that together?
No, he from the same apartments I'm from.
Which are?
Capitol Home.
Thank you, Amy, for the memberships.
Are you older than, younger than, or the same age as Mr. Zachary?
I'm
Because
way,
the jury doesn't know.
I'm way older than Zachary.
All right. Do you know about how many years older?
No, I don't know exactly how old Zachary is.
Now, you being from the same apartments, what circumstances did you have to get to know someone that much younger than you?
I know his mother and his father.
Were you friends with Mr. Zachary's mother or his father? Either of them. Were you friends?
Me and his father not friends, but I know of him.
Okay. At some point, did you socialize with Quindarius Zachary?
Yeah, he watched me grow up. He played basketball and stuff with me.
All right. Are
Basketball.
you closer to him than his parents, or were you closer to his parents than him when you were growing up?
I say his parents.
All right. And which parent were you the closest to?
The father.
All right. Are you no longer close?
We'll have a problem. I just don't see him. He just don't be where I be at.
All right. What about Demikion Garlington? How long have you known him?
Since he was a child too.
As between Quindarius Zachary and Demikion Garlington, are they around the same age, or is one older than the other?
I think they're around the same age.
So it's safe to say that you're considerably older than Demikion Garlington too?
Yes.
How did you come to know Demikion Garlington?
I know his mama when she first had him.
Fair enough. How old were you then?
So he's
She
old.
probably like 2-3 years older than me, so she had him at a very young age.
Okay.
So we probably was she probably was in high school, I was in middle school.
All right. So were you friends with his mom, or were you?
Me and his mother's very close.
Did your relationship with Mr. Garlington's mom sort of spill into a closeness between you and Mr. Garlington, or do you all not have as close relationship as you do with his mom?
Could you repeat what you said?
Yes. Do you have the same type of close relationship with Mr. Garlington that you had or have with his mother?
Yes.
What about Kenneth Copeland or Woody? How well do you know him?
I probably met Copeland probably like 2014.
And under what circumstances did you meet Kenneth Copeland?
We had a debate,
You
a
had-
disagreement.
You and Mr. Copeland had a disagreement?
Yes.
What year?
I want to say 2014.
Are you comfortable telling the jury what that disagreement was about?
It wasn't that serious.
Okay.
If that's what you said.
Just asking what it was about.
I don't recall what it was about.
So if you first met him when you all had a disagreement, how did you come to learn about the thing y'all disagreed over?
Could you repeat that?
Yeah. You just told the jury, correct me where I'm wrong. Your Honor, I'm asking him about his relationship with certain people that are very relevant here in this indictment.
All right, I'll overrule it.
McKinley,
Would you-
man, listen.
Tell the jury how it was that you came to meet Mr. Copeland over a disagreement. What happened?
I don't remember exactly what happened, so I just know I remember we had a disagreement.
What kind of disagreement?
It was just like an argument.
Now, is it that you came in contact with him, you met him, and immediately you all started like arguing with one another, or something you heard? Help me out.
Relevance again.
I'm assuming.
Judge, I'm just getting to his relationship with Mr. Copeland, and
Why?
I'm going to segue into what it is now, but I'm asking for this witness to tell the jury to elaborate on something he testified about as it relates to a witness or a person of interest in this case.
All right, well,
All I heard was,
Have you ever had a dreams that you had you could do so you
well, it doesn't sound from his responses so far like he recalls. So I'll let you ask it this one more way because you're saying that it's relevant. But if the answer's similar to the last one, we're just going to need to move on.
I will. Thank you. Do you recall anything at all about how you and Mr. Copeland met beyond that it was over a disagreement?
I don't recall.
Did the disagreement last? In other words, did you get over it?
Yeah, we right in there on the spot.
Okay. And so how would you describe your relationship with Mr. Copeland?
You saying now or then?
Starting with after you got over the disagreement, what was your relationship like?
Man, we was cordial.
Since different people may have different definitions of cordial, would you explain to the jury what you mean?
We had a good relationship.
Were you as close with Mr. Copeland as you were with Saquindaria Zachary?
I treated all of them equal, so like I don't treat no one better than I treat the other one.
When you say all of them, who are you talking about?
You just said Zachary and Copeland.
Woody
Both
is
of
on
those
trial.
two men.
Just
Yeah, y'all
those
gotta
two.
let that
Yes.
one go.
right.
He's on trial. They want to bury Woody right now.
Would you please tell the jury how well you know Yak or Diamante Kendrick?
How good do I know him?
Yes.
I know him as a great person, a good person. I know him. We have a good relationship.
Tell the jury when you first met Mr. Kendrick.
I want to say probably around 2013, 14, somewhere in there.
He said, "Yeah, we cool."
Where did you first meet him? Under what circumstances?
This dude about to have me curse on the morning show for the
I
first
want to
time.
say Can I say we was at a party or something and somebody introduced him to me, but I don't recall who introduced him to me.
Did you all hit it off right away?
We built a relationship.
Are you all close in terms of age? Or are you older or younger than Mr. Kendrick?
I think I'm older than Mr. Kendrick too. Probably about 10 years or so.
What about Mr. Greer, Quintavious Greer or Umfunk? How well do you know him?
I personally met Mr. Greer when he got out, 2019.
Was that the first time that you came to know Umfunk?
Yes.
Had you heard of him before then?
Yes, I had heard of him.
Okay. And what kind of relationship did you have with Mr. Greer in 2019?
Well, I got out 2019 too, so but when we started seeing each other, we built a great relationship.
Mr. Williams, would you tell the jury how well you know Jeffrey Williams?
I know Jeffrey Williams great. I know him.
He's about to say I have a
Personally,
great
yes.
relationship.
How long have you known Mr. Williams?
Please.
About 15 years.
How did you come to know Mr. Williams?
When I started going to the park on Cleveland Avenue playing basketball.
Are you older than him, younger, or around the same age? As to Jeffrey Williams?
Yes.
Sustained.
And would you describe your relationship when you first met? Was it good? As good as it is now?
Me and Jeffrey always, once I met Jeffrey, we had a great relationship.
Stop the cap.
Oh, he said had. All right.
Did you hang
I'll
out
let him have
with
that.
Jeffrey Williams?
He was rapping at the time, so yeah, I used to go to a couple of the shows, support him.
Okay. Now you say 15 years ago. Around what year was that, if you recall?
Probably 2009.
Talk to him, Johnny.
What shows of his did you go to around 2009?
Nightclubs, teenager club, nightclubs.
Did you get to know his family as well?
Yes,
Have you been to Mr. Williams' house?
yes.
How often would you say you visited him at his home?
A lot.
Okay. Do you know his mother?
Yes,
And do you know his father?
yes.
Are you close with either one of them?
We have a good relationship.
Okay. How frequently do you talk to Mr. Williams' mother?
I ain't talked to her in a minute.
How frequently do you speak with Mr. Williams' father?
Not frequently.
Were you here at the courthouse yesterday?
Yes,
Did you speak with Mr. Williams' father yesterday?
yes.
Okay.
Hey, question to the chat and to everybody watching the replay. What percentage of the defendants do y'all think are his sons? Y'all were thinking it. I had to ask.
Yes,
Did you speak with Mr. Williams' father yesterday?
yes.
Okay. How long would you say you spoke with him?
I can't say.
Was it more than just a hi and bye?
No.
So you said hello, he said hello, and you all parted ways?
Oh,
You may answer.
89%. God damn.
Because you repeated.
Yes. You said it was no more than a hi and bye. So you said hello.
I
and
never said that. You said that. I told
Thank
you.
you.
I told you that we had a conversation yesterday. I couldn't recall how long was the conversation.
Okay. So it went past hello. It was that you all stood and
Yeah.
talked for a while.
That's crazy. Y'all said all of them. Oh, that's wild. He snitching on his
Did
son.
you all at any point discuss this case?
No.
All right. Did you come to know Dora and Dolly Greer through Defendant Williams, or did you learn of them some other way?
I learned through Mr. Williams.
Is it fair to say you met them all, his whole family, around the same time?
Yes.
And your relationship with Dora and Dolly, are they the same as your relationship with Mr. Williams?
Why wouldn't it be though? Yes.
Thank you. Of all the people that I've just asked you about, who is it that you've known the longest?
I met them all about around the same time.
And of all the people that I just asked you about, is there any one that you are closer to than any other?
I'm close to all three of them.
Now, we talked about Quindarius Zachary, Demekion Garlington, Kenneth Copeland, Jeffrey Williams, Quintavious Greer, Shannon Stillwell, and Diamante Kendrick, as well as Dolly and Dora Greer. When you say all three, what do you mean?
Shout out to Doris. She seems solid.
You asked me about Dora, Dolly, and Jeffrey just now. You asked me. Now you talking about all of them. So
Thank
where
you
you
for
getting
correcting
at?
me. You're right. I'm asking you about all of the people that I've asked you about today. Of all of those people, who are you closest to?
I wouldn't say I'm closer than them. One of them, I have a great relationship with all of them.
Okay.
I wouldn't divide none of them, put them like that.
Fair enough.
I feel the same way about one that I feel about the other.
Stop the cap.
With respect to Mr. Marquavius Huey and Quamarvius Nichols, you said you know of them only, right?
Yes.
How did you learn of those two gentlemen?
Just sitting them around the city of Atlanta ain't but so big. We might bump into each other every now and then. Clubs.
Were there occasions where you would say you hung out with more than two of the gentlemen that I just named at a time?
Could you repeat that?
Did you ever hang out?
Yes. All right, I'm gonna need you to use your mic, okay, so I can even hear
Use
that
the
you're
mic.
making an objection.
Yeah, these
Formal
Atlanta
question,
dudes
which
built
gentleman?
different, man.
We're talking about-
Sustained, rephrase, please.
Yes. Of the gentlemen that are Shannon Stillwell, Diamante Kendrick, Brodelius Ryan, Kenneth Copeland, Demekion Garlington, Jeffrey Williams, Quintavious Greer, Marquavius Huey, Quindarius Zachary, Quamarvius Nichols, if I haven't said his name. Did you ever hang out with two or more of either of them?
What you mean by hang out? You can hang out many ways. So what
What
you
are
mean?
some of the ways that you would call hanging out to
I
this jury?
never hung out with Hurley. I never hung out with Ryan.
Okay.
Been to Jeffrey shows, me and Kendrick at the studio, places like that.
Okay. And have you ever hung out with two or more of the people in the courtroom today at a time, at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Under what circumstances?
She's just showing the relationship.
Video shoots, music videos, club.
Is it only at video shoots and music videos that you've hung out
I
with?
just
children?
said clubs.
And which two have you hung out with
I don't
at the
know.
same time that are in the courtroom today?
What you said only two, right?
Which two or more that are in the courtroom today have you hung out
Mr.
with at one
Kendrick,
time?
Jeffrey, Stillwell.
Judge, I'm going to object to the relevance of whether you hung out with several people and ask for a curative instruction with regard to it's not illegal to hang out with anybody in the world.
All right, that's a speaking objection, and it is overruled.
Thank you.
Wow.
Since you asked my definition of hangout,
Thank you,
would you
Amy.
please tell the jury what your definition of hangout is?
We didn't actually fully develop that, so I'm going to overrule that objection.
Would you please
Could you repeat it?
Yes. Would you please tell the jury what your definition of hangout is?
We hung out and had fun together, enjoying life.
Did you all ever work together?
Thank you, Amy.
Yes.
Doing what?
Like when we go on tour.
All right. I know y'all are watching the trial right now. And I know y'all are watching this live stream specifically. You're watching me, AV, Cat's gonna be live later. Could y'all please type in the comments, move out the way, love. Somebody in the courtroom's watching the chat right now. I know they're listening to me. Maybe it's on mute, but can y'all get her to move out of the way? Like put her on the stand so y'all can get her out the way. They're watching. So just, hey, we don't want to see this.
And when you say like when we go on tour, who is the we that you are referring to?
We got to get her out the way.
I've been on tour with all three of them.
All three being Mr. Kendrick.
Mr. Kendrick, William, and Stillwell.
Okay. And what were you doing while you were working on tour with Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Williams, and Mr. Stillwell?
For YSL, the record label, I was head of security at one point in time.
Head of security?
Yes.
Did you receive a paycheck?
Yes.
Thank you.
And who signed that paycheck?
It didn't get signed. It got sent from the company YSL to a bank account.
Okay. Did you have employees working under you?
No, I only pick, like when we go to different states, I only pick the security guards. And if they weren't doing their job properly, I sent them home too.
Where did you pick the security guards from?
From whatever security company they had.
Okay. When you say from whatever security company they had, who is the they that you are referring to?
Whatever security company in that state we was in.
Okay.
I don't remember the company's names or none of that.
How long was it your job to pick security personnel for Mr. Stillwell, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Williams?
Unagi, stop it.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
The testimony being that he did security for Mr. Stillwell.
I mean, he said he worked on tour with all of them. My recollection is that he worked on tour for all of them as head of security.
Well,
so, I mean, I don't know.
Maybe
Maybe
or ask him to
flesh
clarify.
that out some more.
Okay. When you said that you, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, and Mr. Williams worked together, would you please tell the jury what that consisted of?
Well, I worked it for Mr. Jeffrey Williams, not Mr. Kendrick or Shannon Jackson.
And just to clarify, you mean Shannon Stillwell, who is also known as Shannon Jackson?
Yes.
Okay. So what were Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell doing while you were working security for Mr. Williams?
Kendrick's an artist.
Okay.
And Shannon used to be with us, but trying to become an upcoming artist.
Is it fair to say then that Mr. Kendrick was performing while you were?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
He was doing what?
And Mr. Stillwell was doing what exactly while you were working?
He probably doing other things like selling merch for Jeffrey Williams, setting up the merch.
Now, When you say the merch, what is it that you're meaning?
Like selling T-shirts, hats.
And were those T-shirts and hats merchandise with the name Jeffrey Williams on it or something else?
YSL.
So when Mr. Stillwell was
Exactly,
on
Rack Racer.
tour with you, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Williams, was that his only job to sell merch?
No, we all did different things. We probably like helped with the clothing. We all did different things. We all just supported Jeffrey in any way we could.
Okay. And is it fair to say you want the best for each of them?
I never want the worst for anybody on this earth.
And when you say you all supported Jeffrey in any way that you could, what are the ways that specifically you, Mr. Kendrick, and Mr. Stillwell supported Mr. Williams?
The record label. We supported the music.
How?
Music.
What you mean, how?
Did you just testify that you all supported Mr. Williams in any way that you could?
Yes, by helping him get his clothes together, what he was going to wear, help him sell his clothing for his business.
And those items of clothes, did they each have the name YSL on it, or did they have something else?
He got different clothes.
Okay. What are some of the other names that would appear on his clothes?
He have what they call a spider.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you know, or did spider have any meaning to you for it to appear on Mr. Williams' clothes?
I didn't know the meaning of spider. I just seen the clothing.
You never talked about it with anybody?
No, I don't have them discussions.
When you say you don't have them discussions, what discussions are you talking about?
I don't have discussion about his clothing line and what the meaning of his clothing line.
All right, well, I guess we're never selling merch on this channel. No merch for y'all. No classy beats, gang. None of that. It's just been ruined by the Fulton County justice system. I'll be reading super chats.
Even though you're selling it?
Yes.
All right. Did you ever hear any one of those three gentlemen talking about the clothing line or
no
the meaning?
I just only know what YSL mean.
Where is it that you all sold the items of clothing with YSL and Spider on it?
Anywhere in the venue. Wherever they had us to set up in the venue. Same way you got me sitting here. Wherever they set up and tell us to set up at, we set up at.
All right. And who is it that would tell you where to sit up?
Whoever's over the venue.
Understood. Now, did you tell me how long you had been working as head of security for Defendant Williams?
No more t-shirts. Sorry, y'all.
I don't remember the exact time, but
they ain't gonna get me.
I can't tell you exactly how many years, how long it was.
Do you remember the last time that you worked at a venue as head of security for Mr.
Cameraman
Williams?
relocated.
The
they
year,
heard us.
generally speaking.
I want to say
thank you.
2019.
And what venue was that?
We went a lot of places. I don't remember. We went so many places. I don't remember exact everyone you're trying to.
Did Mr. Williams give you access to places that you had not gone before?
Good morning, Lunachick.
I've been places without Mr. Williams.
I understand.
On my own.
Understood. My question, though, is did Mr. Williams give you access to any places that you had not gone before?
No.
And the last time being generally in 2019, do you remember what occasion that was that you worked at?
I don't remember where we went. We went so many places. We went to Utah. We went to so many places. It was unreal.
Did you work as Mr. Williams' head of security in 2009?
No, I don't even think Mr. Williams was famous yet.
When did you start working as head of security?
Don't do that, Jonathan. Stop it.
I want to say, when was his first tour? The rodeo, was it 2015?
So I heard you reference, when was his first tour?
It was 2015.
Stop it, Henry. Don't
Is
do
that
that.
late 2015, mid or early 2015?
I don't recall. I don't know if it was the middle when it started. All that I remember, him and Travis Scott was on tour together.
Okay. So before then, did you and Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell and Mr. Williams hang out for any reason other than work?
Could you ask that question again?
Yes. Before then, did you, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, and Mr. Williams hang out for anything other than work?
We partied together. I said that already.
And would you party only at clubs?
Cameraman out here fighting for his
Sometimes we
life.
sit at Mr. Williams' house and enjoy it ourselves.
And before you did the tour that you mentioned in 2015, did you work in any way for Mr. Williams, Mr. Kendrick, Mr. Stillwell, or any other defendant whom I've named today?
When I met Jeffrey Kendrick, I didn't know Kendrick or Mr. Stillwell when I first met Jeffrey.
Understood. In 2014, did you perform any work with either of the persons that I've just mentioned?
No.
I can't even do it.
Prior to the rodeo tour or 2015 that you mentioned,
Oh, man.
did you work in any capacity with Jeffrey Williams?
Could you repeat that?
Prior to the rodeo tour or 2015, did you work in any capacity with Jeffrey Williams?
Could you break that down so I can really understand that one?
Did you testify that you began working as head of security for Mr. Williams starting with his rodeo tour?
Yes, in 2015.
Right. Thank you, because that was my next question. Was it in 2015? So before then, did you work for Mr. Williams doing anything?
No.
Okay. And before then, did you work for or with Mr. Kendrick doing anything?
I never worked for or with Mr. Kendrick.
Okay. And before then, did you ever work either for or with Mr. Stillwell doing anything?
No. It don't make any sense to ask the same thing. I told you already I didn't never work for Kendrick or Stillwell. Why would you ask the same question?
I understand your frustration, but
I'm
I'm
not
asking you
frustrated.
for the jury's sake.
I'm
okay?
not frustrated.
All right.
Overruled.
Okay.
Stop fighting
And
with the
I
witness.
understood you saying you didn't work for them. Did you ever work with either of those people before 2015? Mr. Sledge, are you going to answer?
I don't answer that question.
Okay. So I take it the answer is no? You never worked with them before 2015?
No, I already answered that question.
Thank you.
Crazy.
Mr. Sledge, are you a part of a gang called YSL?
YSL is not a gang.
Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Comic might have been right. That's the wrong answer, my friend. That is not what you're supposed to say if you're a state's witness. Come on now. Monk Tunk. You should know better. The answer is yes. That bad gang YSL over there making music. Come on now. Stick to the script, my guy.
I am asking you specifically, are you a part, or have you ever been a part of a gang called YSL?
Asked and answered.
Asked and answered.
Jesus. How's that overruled?
And I asked you and told you YSL is not a gang.
Then if you could say yes or no.
No.
Well, he gave her
Have
the
you
up down
ever been a part of a gang called YSL?
I just said no.
Uh-oh. I see you, Amy.
Would you please tell the jury if you know whether YSL has 3 or more members or associates?
YSL's a record label is the only right answer. Please.
You said, do they have 3 or more associates?
Let's start with members. Does YSL have 3 or more members?
Working members.
Ooh.
Does the
Uh-oh.
organization, we'll call it, have 3 or more associates?
What you mean by the associate?
What do you understand associates to mean?
I don't understand what it means.
Yeah, Randall, I'm going to interrupt again. Randall asked a great question. So here's what he said. Randall said, didn't he sign a plea agreement that YSL was a gang? Here's what he signed. Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. So he has not said that YSL is a gang. And as y'all may be or may not be aware of, Adrian Love put this plea together. Shocker. Appreciate you kind to me.
We'll come back to associates.
All right.
Do the 3 or more members of YSL that you are aware of share any common identifiers?
Exactly, Farmer.
What you mean by identifier? You got to be more specific when you asking the question.
Of course.
Don't be Atlantic, be Pacific.
Colors. Do the 3 or more members of YSL typically tend to wear the same colors?
We wear all type of colors. They wear all type of colors.
Is that a yes or is that a no?
I can't answer yes or no to that question because they wear all type of colors. You said they have Pacific color?
Oh, they have
Do they wear any
Atlantic
particular colors? Yes. That represents YSL.
No, not that I know of.
Pacific.
What about hand signals? Do the 3 or more members of YSL that you know of share any common or use any common hand signals?
Have I seen 3 or more of them use the hand signal?
My question is, do the 3 or more members of YSL that you just referenced, do they use common hand signals?
Yes.
Tell the jury about the common hand signals they use.
What you mean?
You just said yes.
What do you mean?
Did you not?
What you mean? I can't explain to you the hand signal, but I know it if I see it.
Can you show the jury?
I can't show them.
Why not?
It's not an individual handshake.
I didn't ask you about a handshake.
That's
We
what
got
you
this.
said.
No, I say
We got
hand
this.
signals.
Oh, I don't.
We got this.
I don't see use all type of signals. I don't know.
Would you tell the jury which ones that you do know of?
Rodney, don't do that.
I don't know of one.
What one do you know of?
You throw the Y, the S, and the L up.
Show the jury how to do that, please.
Like that.
I'm sorry, I missed it. And where is the Y, the S, and the L in what you just held up?
I don't know. I can't tell you. I just see the hand signal be thrown.
Would you please hold that up and hold it for a second?
Could you see it?
How do you know that that is a YSL if you don't know where the Y, the S, and the L are?
I don't know where it's at. I just don't see it sitting. I never even try to figure out why the SL is.
Then
This
how
is
do you
real
know
life.
that it stands for YSL?
Because I don't see it throwed up numbers of places.
Hell no.
How does that tell you that it stands for
What is
YSL?
I'm gonna get it, Jonathan.
I don't know, Miss Love.
You don't know?
No.
How long have you seen that hand signal being used?
I don't know how many years have I seen it being used.
When would you say the first time you can recall seeing it being used is?
When he started saying he was going to have his own label called YSL.
When you say when he, who are you referring to?
And that's what Jeffrey Williams' label is, YSL.
Are you asking me or telling me?
I'm telling you, that's his label. YSL label.
Do you know an approximate year that you first saw that hand signal being used?
No, I don't remember.
Do you know when it is that Defendant Williams established a record label called YSL?
He been saying it for years. That's what he wanted his label to be, but I don't know exactly what year that it was officially copyrighted, if that's the right word.
Are you familiar with a young man by the name of Trontavious Stevens?
Yes.
What do you call him?
Slug, tick, what?
And how long have you known Tick or Slug?
A long time, too.
Now y'all gonna have me up here.
I can't
going
tell
gang
you
signs. I gotta
exactly how
stop
many years,
this.
but I've been knowing him a long time, too.
Generally around what year did y'all meet?
I probably say around the same time I met Mr. Williams.
Y'all have me up there repping the wrong set.
And under what circumstances did you meet?
I have to stay inside after this.
In the park.
Who introduced you to Mr. Stevens?
Nobody introduced me. I was come around, and once they started saying names, I started remembering names. Once they started calling each other names, I started remembering names.
Who is the they that started calling each other names?
People in the park.
And so who were some of those people?
Jeffrey would call him Slug. You had a couple of more people.
So is it fair to say that you met Mr. Stevens through Defendant Williams?
I wouldn't say I met him through, because Jeffrey Williams never came to me and said, well, this Slug and this Tick. So I didn't meet him through Jeffrey Williams.
Okay.
I met him just being around.
Okay. And did you ever hang out with Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
How often did you hang out with Mr. Stevens?
Not often.
And how would you describe your relationship with Mr. Stevens when you first met him?
Me and Mr. Steve had a great relationship, but we didn't hang around each other like that.
Has anything happened to sour your relationship with Mr. Stevens?
No.
Is there anyone within YSL that you do not have a great relationship with?
No.
To your knowledge,
It's a double negative
who
question.
all is a member of YSL?
What you mean by a member?
Well,
You gotta be more.
earlier, did you
gotta be
testify that
specific.
YSL has 3 or more members?
Yeah, I said business wise.
And what did you mean when you testified it has 3 or more members? What definition
members.
did
He
you
said
have in
associates.
mind when you gave that
Is
testimony?
this against the law to be a member of?
Now, Mr. Sledge, I'm curious about something.
Oh, she's losing.
Did
him.
you hear me at any time bring up a crime?
I say is this against? I never said you brought up a crime. Ask the question
Why did you ask me that question?
because I want to know specific what you trying to get at.
We gotta be
How could you
specific.
just get on that? What you trying to get at?
Would you please tell the jury what difference the answer to your question makes as it pertains
Object,
to
y'all.
what 3 or more members of YSL you know about?
What?
You said 3 or more members I know about. I just
Yes. My last question was, why did you ask me, is it against the law to be a member?
I already told you 3 members I knew.
Thank you. Would you please name those 3 members that you know?
Stevenson, William, and Kendrick.
Okay. Now, would you tell the jury why you asked me, is it against the law to be a member?
I was asking you a question like you asked me a question.
I hear you.
No
I'm asking,
reason,
do you
no
understand
reason.
that?
I don't have a reason why I asked you that question.
Okay. Did you want me to answer it?
I would like you.
Your Honor, I believe that the witness's reasons for any of the responses that he gives to my questions are relevant, especially when they come in the form of that type of question.
That's not an objection. Just ask your question.
Okay. Did you want me to answer the question?
No, you don't have to answer. Go on with your other question.
He said, go on with your other question.
Earlier, you testified that Mr. Williams was around 15 when you met him.
Yes, 15, 16, one of them.
Would it be fair to say you met him around 2006, 2007 then?
No. Mr. Williams is what, 33 and I'm 43? So I met him 2009, I remember, because I just got out of prison.
Okay. Did you meet him at the park too?
Yes,
Okay. And did you meet his mom, dad, and sisters after you met him or before?
after.
And was that just going to his house and stuff like that?
Me and Jeffrey Williams hung together, so that's how.
How often did you all hang together, as you put it?
When we was younger,
Start there, please.
a lot.
How do you describe a lot?
Every other day, every day. What?
Did you consider him your best friend?
No, I don't have a best friend.
Was he as close as you get to having a best friend?
I looked at him as a little brother.
Okay.
Aw,
Is it fair to say you loved him?
Why not?
why not?
I don't know why not. I'm just
Yes, I love him.
Okay. Do you feel the same way about Mr. Stillwell
Yes,
and Mr. Kendrick?
yes.
Okay, that's verified. 3 sons.
Do you feel the same way about anyone else in this courtroom today?
I don't have a problem with anyone in this courtroom.
Understood. Do you love anybody else in this courtroom today?
You're supposed to love everyone in the world.
Amen, brother.
Do you specifically love anyone else in this courtroom?
I can answer, I don't have a problem with anyone in this courtroom. I can't tell you that I love anyone else because I never had a personal relationship with them.
Okay. Do you love Demekion Garlington?
Yes,
Do you love Quindarius Zachary?
yes,
Do you love Kenneth Copeland?
yes,
Do you love them all The ones that you said you love. Do you love them all equally?
Yes.
Are you equally as close with one as you are the other of those people that you love?
No.
Who are you closest with?
Sustained.
Would you tell the jury
I don't know what her point is. But he
of
loved
those
them and they
3
worked
or
together.
more members of YSL that you described, if there is any particular language that they have in common or that they use, other than average run-of-the-mill English?
Could you repeat your question?
Michi
Yes.
said, do you love Miss Love?
Of the
No.
3 or more members of YSL that you know of, is there any particular language or words that they use that is besides the run-of-the-mill common English language you'd find in a dictionary?
Object to run-of-the-mill you find in the dictionary? Nobody speaks like a dictionary.
Have you ever had a dream that you had you could do so you
Bruce Harvey said what everybody, he's watching the chat right now. He said, what the hell is going on here? This chick, boy, we thought Simone had it bad. Who picked these witnesses?
Other than
God.
average run-of-the-mill English?
Could you repeat your question?
Yes. Of the 3 or more members of YSL that you know of, is there any particular language or words that they use that is besides the run-of-the-mill common English language you'd find in a dictionary?
Object to run-of-the-mill you find in the dictionary? Nobody speaks like a dictionary.
What's your objection? What's your objection, Mr. Harvey? I mean, other than this is
I can't
BS.
say because the whole world is speaky bunny, so I can't, like you said, in a dictionary. I wouldn't know what's in a dictionary. I don't look in a dictionary.
Okay.
So I don't know if the word you're looking for in the dictionary or it's not in the dictionary.
The word slime. Have you heard of the word slime?
They got a whole place called slime. They got a slime event. So, yeah, I don't heard the word slime. You got a plaything that you could take your kids to for the.
Yo, I know y'all missed it because there's a lot going on in this scene. But here, we need to look at this. Let me see. Can I zoom in? It's not going to let me zoom in on the video. This is it right here. Y'all see Judge Whitaker? Y'all see Judge Whitaker? What'd she say? Oh my God. What have I done? I'm just trying to get to the Supreme Court. I wanted to do this the right way. The people asked for a fair trial. I tried to give it to them. What am I doing? Yo, Judge Whitaker is done. She's regretting her whole life right now. Look at her.
Yes, I have heard that word.
Look at her.
Have you heard members of YSL call each other slime?
I done heard people not YSL call each other slime.
That's okay. Have you heard members of YSL call each other?
Yes.
Now, have you called members of YSL slime?
She's had 2 years to prepare for this guy,
Now,
John.
when you called members of YSL slime, were you talking about that big old play thing that kids play on?
Miss Love, come on now. We ain't gonna.
Jury doesn't know.
We're not.
So you have to be
Of
clear.
course, I know they know. They no different from me and you. Come on, that ain't even a question.
Tell the jury what you were referring to when you called
I wasn't
people.
referring to the play thing.
Okay. So what significance does the word slime have?
It's just a slang word we use towards each other.
And when you say we, who are you talking about?
The whole world, not just the Pacific people. The whole world. I call people slime that I don't even know.
You call people gang. I start the effing. Oh Lord, she gonna have me. I start the live stream. What's up, gang? I type in the chat. What's up, gang? Yeah. Hey, when y'all have my back when we get hit with the Rico, okay?
World. I call people slime that I don't even know. People be walking down the street, be like, "What's up, slime?"
I can't.
And when you use it, what do you mean?
It's just a slang word for the streets.
Dumb lady.
Okay. How do you what does it mean though?
I don't know the meaning of it. The whole world, I guess it's slime like it what it meant for itself, slime. The whole world slime to me.
So are you able to tell us anything about what you feel it means?
I feel it means no one can be trusted. That's what I feel.
Fair enough. And is that a phrase that members of YSL, I'm not talking about the whole world, just members of YSL, uses amongst themselves?
Why you want to say they just use amongst themselves when I just said the whole world use? You try to make it seem like it's just about them using it when it's not just them using.
Understood. But I still have to know, is that a word that members of YSL use amongst themselves?
Thank you. I'm muted for a reason, y'all. I just need to let it go.
Because I thought I already answered.
That's God. God muted me for a
Are
reason.
you the only member of YSL that uses the word slime?
It's fine.
No.
Okay.
That's a better question.
Thank you. Who else within YSL have you heard use the word slime?
The ones I've been around.
Who in this courtroom have you heard use the word slime?
Jeffrey, yeah, Stillwell.
Okay. Are they the only ones?
Yeah, because I never had another conversation with anyone like that.
Thank you. Now, would you please tell the jury who you know within YSL who have committed crimes intended to increase the street rep of YSL?
I don't know anyone that try to increase YSL. I don't know anyone try to increase YSL.
Did you understand my question?
Thank you, Adam.
You said, could you repeat it?
Yes. Would you please tell the jury what members of YSL you know who have committed crimes to increase the street rep of YSL?
Yeah, but Henry, this is dumb. And Henry, I said this is how she should have started. What Henry Resilient said she's doing is she's going through this plea deal. And this is what she did. This is what she should have started with instead of this stupid line of questioning, which is just confusing the jury. Mr. Sledge, on December 27, 2022, were you given a plea deal? Did you sign a plea deal? Yep. And did you agree in that plea deal that the organization or gang or whatever word that you want to use, did you agree that it is your factual knowledge that YSL, the organization, the gang, committed crimes and intended to increase the notoriety and street credibility and reputation of YSL? Did you agree and sign on your plea deal that that's your factual knowledge? Yes. Next question. Were you a member or associate of YSL since 2012? Yeah. Look, what is she doing? I'm not even an attorney. And I could think of a way I would ask these questions. I don't know why she went in this roundabout talking about dictionary and all this BS. Man, put me up there.
I can't really say
Why not?
because I don't know anyone in this courtroom have committed a crime.
Fair enough.
What's up,
Any
Miss Lee?
member of YSL that you know of who has committed crimes to increase the street reputation of YSL?
Could you put your question, could you make it better where I can understand what you're saying?
Who do you know that has committed a crime for YSL?
Hell no, Henry. I'm
For
not going
YSL?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Okay. So who do you know who has committed a crime to boost the reputation of YSL?
Nobody.
Who do you know? Do you know what the word notoriety means?
No.
Do you know what notorious means?
No.
When I say street credibility, do you know what that means?
I have an idea of what you're saying about credibility.
What is your idea of what I'm saying about street credibility?
Like basically they commit crimes to try to boost the name up of YSL. But I don't think that was the case.
Okay. Now, you're saying that you know of no one within YSL who has ever committed a crime to increase the notoriety, street credibility, or reputation of YSL?
Well, I'm not saying that I don't know a person that claimed YSL had committed a crime, but I'm saying they didn't do it in the name of YSL.
Now, thank you for clarifying, but my question is, who do you know that has committed a crime to increase either the notoriety, the street credibility, or the reputation of YSL?
I don't think it was for the reputation or the street credibility of YSL. I just think the crimes were committed by what happened to them and they did it on their own. I don't think it was because of YSL, if that's what you're getting at.
I'm not. I'm asking you only what I specifically said.
I don't recall. I don't know.
She's already asked this 3 or 4 times.
At any point over the past 2.5 years, have you known the answer to that question?
No.
Do you recall whether on...
She's just reading his plea.
December 28th, 2022, you knew the answer to that question?
And when I try to correct you on that answer, you wouldn't let me correct you on the answer, so...
First, we're gonna get an answer from...
I would love to let her do her job, but she absolutely is garbage. So we're gonna do it for her. Did he say that he knew of somebody that committed a crime for YSL? Young Slime Life organization made up of 3 or more members, associates who share but are not limited to, who have committed crimes to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. Okay, so yeah, he said it here. Gotta give it
from
up,
you.
Sledge. You signed it.
Overruled. Go ahead.
First, I'm going to ask you to answer the question, and then we'll get to what you just said, okay?
If you want to stay on the plea agreement, yeah, I initial on it.
Okay, so my question is, on December 28th, 2022, did you know of 3 or more members of YSL that have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
My answer gonna be the same.
What is your answer?
When I try to get my lawyer to refer, I throw.
I just need, I'll let you explain, I promise.
No.
All right, hold on.
It doesn't matter. You signed it. You initialed it, my guy. I don't care what you tried to do. AS. Right
Okay,
there.
but he's
AS.
not answering the question that she asked. So she's entitled to say, answer the question that I asked.
This ain't a forced immunity.
And she
That is
has
exactly.
already said that she's going to let him explain that in just a minute.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So will you please answer or tell the jury if on December 28th, 2022, you knew of 3 or more members of YSL who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
Here we go.
Could I talk to my lawyer, Ms. Love?
For what?
That's up to the court.
You may.
Oh,
We're
man.
gonna take a
Michelle said I
recess.
need to go to law school.
Y'all go ahead and use the
God.
restroom if you need to.
Get
Thank you.
control of your witness. Can we give him a copy of the plea? All right, Mr. Sledge. Right here. Is this your initial? Yes. Do you remember this date in court? Were you there? Were you present in court? Yes. Were you under the influence as you testified to in court? No. Were you able at the time to be represented and to speak with an attorney? Yes. Okay, when you initial this right here, can you read? Right? Correct? We went over this already. You can read this, correct? Yes. Can you read this for me? What does it say? Do I have to, Judge? Go ahead. All right. Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or
We're
associates
taking a recess too.
who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, terminology, who are committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety and street credibility of the reputation of YSL. And that's your initial right there, right, Mr. Sledge? Yes. Okay. Can you read that last sentence for me one more time? Who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety and street credibility and reputation of YSL. So, Mr. Sledge, when you initialed this as factual acknowledgments, who were the people you were referring to that committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? I literally got there in 30 seconds. Would anybody have an objection to anything that I just said? Is he not allowed to see the plea deal? I mean, what are we doing here? We're still on break. No, Jay says no objections, but there's a way about it. Was the plea deal forced upon him? Man, if you don't get out of here, Aquastar does not rock with the sound effects. I apologize. Let me read some super chats while we're on break because we lost a lot of our delay, unfortunately, because we started right on time. Shout out to the super chats. We got Pam up in here, dropped the 10 euros. Thank you, Pam. The sound effects are loud, so let me turn this down. And then we've got Bridgetta in here, says, who is doing the math in this case? Your guess is as good as mine. No one in here became a member. Shout out to no one. Michi in here became a member as well. And then we had Amy gifted 5 memberships. If you got a membership from Amy, please make sure you say thank you in the chat. Not only do you get exclusive access and instant access to any of the videos we drop here in the Classy Beats YouTube channel, but you also get custom emojis you can drop in the chat, as well as members only live streams. So y'all make sure you check that out. Also, Amy dropped a 20 bomb over there as well. Said, you're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you. And then we've got BBSC says, I know she's showing the relationship ups, but damn, get to the point, woman. Yeah, I appreciate the 5 bomb, BBSC. And then Savannah Shriver sends a $1 super chat. I appreciate y'all. And thank you to everybody who liked the video. We've got over 3,600 likes. My God. Thank you to everybody who liked the video. That is really the #1 way y'all can support the channel. And thank you to everybody who sends super chats. I'll be reading those shortly too. All right, what do y'all think about this? Is Miss Love just this bad at her job? It seems like there would have been a simpler way to get this answer out of him. I don't know why she's going this roundabout. Let's get direct, straight to the point. Let's not confuse the jury. keep it simple. My gosh. Michi says she's trash. I want to see what else y'all are saying here. Oh, thank you to Amy for talking about the super chats. Republic Room is in here, says the state gets criminally compromised. The state gets criminally compromised individuals to do their dirty work for awful plea deals. This plea is the worst I've ever seen. He's guaranteed 15 years probation and he might get another 15. I guess they're saying they're going to wait and see. Karma Rose says, yes, we want her to fail. So she's doing a great job to me. I want her to do a good job so we can have a fair trial, but she's not making it easy. Amy wants me to hold her in contempt. I got you, Amy. Who else is in here? Taiki says that wouldn't have worked. Why not? I want to hear what y'all think. Let me see if we're back yet. And I know we had somebody who tried to call in. Maybe we'll take some phone calls. Jay says she can't, she has to back him against the corner using the plea deal so she can use perjury as leverage. But it's not complicated. He signed it and initialed it. Jacob said she's not that smart, cuz. PM says, no, she's trying to avoid asking questions like you said intentionally. If he starts saying stuff similar to Woody and the state tried to stop him, the jury really takes notice of that. But PM, he initialed it. I mean, I put the links to the video in the chat for y'all. Look at this.
Is an organization.
Look at this. The reason many of them are taking the pleas is
Also known as Motem, who is listed in indictment 22SC183572.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you at this time taking or under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or medication?
No, ma'am.
Is there any medication that you normally take that you have not been given today?
Got Miss Love up there.
How old are you and how far have you gone in school?
I'm 41, 10th grade.
Are you able to read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, he sat there. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Is this? Did you sign this? Okay, what did you mean when you signed this? Oh, well, y'all forced me to sign it. No. Mr. Sledge, we have video of you sitting there and yesing and no, ma'am. Judge Glanville explained this to you, went through it. You had time to talk to your attorney. So please, Mr. Sledge, save the court some time. What did you mean when you initialed that YSL has committed crimes intended to decrease the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. I don't know. PM, maybe I'm missing it. I don't know. Gabby dropped the one bomb over there. Appreciate you, Gabby. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a common sense person. Amy said, "It's cake time." Is it cake time already? Dang, Amy with the cake emoji. I appreciate you. Gabby Gabs drops the 2 bomb as well. I appreciate you, Gabby Gabs. Thank y'all for all the super chats, man. Y'all are showing so much love. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for keeping the lights on over here as well. Let me get some phone calls. PM says, but if he says, you guys had me in solitary, only milk for days, poop everywhere, guards beating me, what was I supposed to do? Even if it's a lie, it's not true, and the jury hears it, it compounds. Okay, that's fine. Mr. Sledge, I'm sorry you had that experience, and it was never the state's intention for you to be in that situation. I mean, obviously she's not gonna admit to that. But I'm sorry that was your experience. I don't know, something. Move on from that. Now we go back to the initial. Because he initialed it, he talked with his attorney, and he sat there in court and nodded and said, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. PM says you're totally correct, and she is asking bad questions, unclear questions, rambling, and she's nervous after Woody. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, man. Look at Amy and Gabs going back and forth. Amy dropped the 2 bomb, so she's behind the scenes with the banana and the cake ready to go. Oh, my God. And then we got Gabby Gabs dropping the 1 bomb. I appreciate y'all. Let me get these phone lines up here so I can see what y'all are thinking, because I'm about done with Mr. Sledge and Miss Love. This is crazy. Kind to me said, yep, a court appointed attorney. I thought that might be the case too. I mentioned that to y'all earlier. Let me see who I've gotten here, because I've already got a ton of missed calls. Let me see. I'm gonna call some of y'all back. Who is this that called? Ooh, they called a while ago. I don't want to call y'all back if you're busy now. Alice called. Who else? Let me see. If y'all want to call in, by the way, the link to call in is in the description and in the pinned comment in the chat. Y'all can call in, share your thoughts, let me know what you think while we're on the break. And this is usually why we start with the delay. I think they're back now, but I want to take at least 1 phone call. Amy's in here. She dropped another super sticker. She said mood. I appreciate you, Amy, for the 2 bomb. Look at Amy showing so much love. And then Gabby Gabs is in here, said just showing some support. Love y'all. Shout out to Gabby Gabs as well. Appreciate Gabby Gabs and Amy, man, over there dropping the super chats like crazy. I don't know. I might need to go to law school and help defend the people. Let me get 646 up in here. All right, I'm going to call
from
Adam.
All right, Adam is in the building. Adam, welcome to the Music Morning Show. What's on your mind, my friend?
Nothing. I'm just appalled by the line of questioning by Love. I mean, the incompetence is like running amok at this point. I just feel like she's just trying to show up Hilton more than like win the case. It's like Hilton and Love have this weird feminism battle going on at the desk. I don't even get it.
Man, it seems like if you have somebody that signs a piece of paper and initials some things, you should not be struggling this much with asking them about what they initialed and signed. I don't know what I'm missing, Adam. It's killing me right now, man.
I know you even had a very simple line of question that she refuses to just initiate. I don't even get it. I don't know, man.
I mean, you have the script, you have the plea deal. I said this even before we got to trial starting. I said just go straight to the plea deal and say, "Hey, Mr. Sledge, good morning. Did you sign this?" Then you're done. Like, get him out of here.
Dead to right. You got him dead to right, but she uses to use the smoking gun. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. Comic might have been right because Comic was in the chat saying this witness is going to damage them worse than Lil Woody. And I don't think it's the witness at this point. I think it's just the state continuing to show their incompetency. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like I said, man, I enjoy your commentary. I tap in every day, you know. But man, it's wild to see, man. I'm like, it's just insane. I mean, it's literally a circus in Georgia. I feel bad for any free American citizen in the state of Georgia.
Hey, well, listen, we are staying far away from the system over on this side, and I hope everybody else does too. I appreciate you, Adam. Thanks for calling in, man.
Likewise.
All right,
likewise,
peace.
brother.
All right, be blessed.
See you later.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. I don't know what we're doing here. Court's back. I wanted a little bit of a delay. I saw 646, I think, called me back. We'll get you back after our break here, 646. So y'all stay ready to call in because we don't have a solid delay today. So what I'm going to do is once we get to a break time, I'll instantly read super chats and take some more of y'all's phone calls. All right. Court is back. Let's see what's going on here. Jeez. It cannot be this complicated. Well, John, that's a great point too. Y'all have to remember, Miss Love and Miss Hilton were not initially supposed to be on this trial. They're the backup attorneys. So even Fannie Willis herself did not have Miss Love and Miss Hilton as her first choice. And I'll see if I can find that information for y'all. Oh, Terry asked a question. ClassE, read Terry's answer to the question you asked. Where's Terry at? I'm gonna go find it. Terry, can you put it in the chat again? I'll look out for it. Yeah, it's too far to go back in the chat. Terry says, unless you have video of them negotiating each piece in front of the court, then you don't have whether he was pressured on to each piece or had different objections to each piece. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Thank you, Terry. Yeah. But to me, Terry, not only did he initial it, not only did he sign it, but he sat there in court in front of Judge Glanville. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. Same thing with Miss Hilton. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Didn't look like he was pressured then to me. So I'm bringing that in as evidence. Just to show that he was not pressured, Your Honor.
Go ahead, Miss Love.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If he wants to make up stories, fine, but...
Mr. Sledge, would you please tell the jury on December 28th, 2022, what three members of YSL that you knew who had committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
Me, Gonata, and Zachary.
Here we go. Finally, a solid answer.
And how was it that you personally intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL through the commission of those crimes that you're talking about?
Could you say that question in another fashion?
Sure.
Yes. As it relates to you personally, how...
Oh, I got to turn the volume back up. Thank you,
for
Sean.
your crimes that you're talking about to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
How would I put this? I couldn't say if it was the credibility or why I said I would say the incident that happened.
I understand what you're saying, but did I correctly understand you to say that the 3 people you know who have committed crimes? I'm trying to gain clarity, so
No, ask a
Overall,
better
she's
question.
asking if she's got it right.
Thank you. Did I understand you to say that the 3 people who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL are you, Mr. Garlington, and Mr. Zachary?
Yes.
I won't ask you to speak about anyone but yourself. So as it relates to you, how did you intend for your crimes to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
I don't understand that question, Ms. Lane.
Is this the first time that you have been faced with that type of question?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever asserted that Young Slime Life, aka YSL, is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? Have you ever made that assertion in your life?
Yes.
Okay. So when you made that assertion, are the 3 names that you just gave the jury the 3 members of YSL that you were referring to when you made that assertion?
Yes.
Okay. So, as it relates to yourself, how did you mean for your crimes to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
Here we go. They must be watching the live stream.
I'm confused on that one, Miss Lowe. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm confused on that one. I ain't gonna lie.
What are you confused about?
I'm confused on what you asking.
Which part are you confused about?
You saying to increase what crime did I commit? To increase
the notoriety, street credibility.
Oh, you saying what the crime did I commit?
My question is not what crime. My question is, how did you mean for your crimes, whatever they were, to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL, no matter what they were? How did you mean for those crimes to do that thing?
I wouldn't say increase the game for YSL. I would say what I'm trying to get at is like things happen and I reacted.
And
I don't think it's what you're saying. I just don't think it was all about YSL. That's what I'm saying.
Are you referring to one specific incident?
I only know about one incident. What I pleaded guilty to. I don't know about no other incidents.
Okay. So when I speak of street credibility, what do you understand that to mean? Is it the same thing for you as fame?
I never really been into that, Ms. Love, about fame and street credibility.
That's okay. But I need you to answer the question. What do you understand street credibility to mean?
I'm stuck, Ms. Love. I'm stuck right now because I don't understand what the street credibility is.
Do you know what fame is?
Yeah, I know what fame and street credibility, but I'm a person like, I don't go off fame and street credibility. I'm just basically, I believe in being a man, put it like that.
I appreciate that. What do you understand reputation to mean?
You're trying to uphold a reputation, right?
I can't give an answer. You have to give the answers, okay? What do you understand reputation to mean?
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
A name in the streets.
Okay. So how did you intend for the crimes you committed to boost YSL's name in the streets?
What's the name of the cat? I'm trying to think how to answer this question.
Just tell the truth.
I'm going to tell the truth. I don't know but the truth. I'm just trying to think a way of saying it with the truth.
Say whatever's in your mind right now.
Ain't in my mind right now, but what I say.
It's too late, man.
Do you need a minute?
Yeah.
Signed your life away.
Could you come back to that one?
No.
If she were smart, she would.
To boost the name
of
or reputation.
I'm not going to help her out.
In the street.
I see you, Day Day. She's basically trying to get him to admit what crimes he did to boost the name of YSL. So he went and robbed the store and he was like, YSL, we out here. Stay off of Cleveland Avenue type ish. Thank you, Real 12 Studios.
I'm trying to think, because I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're saying. If that makes sense.
What do you mean? You understand, but you don't.
Because you saying trying to boost the reputation of YSL in the street.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Because I don't think anything I would have done would have been to boost the name of YSL in the streets.
Did you not mean to include yourself in the earlier statement that you made when you said YSL is an organization made up of 3 or more members or associates who share common identifiers that include but are not limited to colors, hand signals, and terminology, who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? Did you not mean to include yourself in that group of 3 or more people, or was there someone else?
I included myself because I knew I committed a crime, but I wouldn't say the crime was just because the boosted reputation of YSL in the streets. It was about principle.
Okay.
What's up,
and
Rose?
When you say it was about principle in what way as it relates to YSL? Because that's what I'm talking about.
That's why the question hard to answer, because you keep putting it as YSL.
Now, you said I keep putting it as YSL.
Yes.
I agree, Snake Handler.
Did you testify earlier that the statement that I read to you during my question is a statement you made? Did you make that assertion on December 28th, 2022? Is that something that you said yes to?
Yeah, but I didn't make that question or that answer. That was your question and your answer. And when I was trying to correct you on that, you wouldn't let me correct you on it.
Now you're pointing at something that may or may not be referenced in a moment.
Yeah.
But let's just talk about what you just said. You said that was my question.
Yeah, I did initially.
You said that was my question and my answer.
Yes.
When you say my answer, what do you mean?
The answer of the question. You just said, like, that question you asked me, it already had the answer on it, and I initiated.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that there is a question on some form that I gave to you?
Yeah, it sounds like a question and an answer already on it.
Okay.
Could you repeat what you said?
Yes. My question to you is, on December 28th, 2022, my first question was, what 3 people who were members of YSL did you know about?
I said me, Garnison, and Zachary.
Who had committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. And you said you, Garlington and Zachary.
Right.
And my question to you was, how did the crimes that you committed, let's use another word, how did those crimes make YSL more popular in the streets?
You saying crimes, and I'm saying there's only one crime that I committed. You saying crimes, you using more than one crime.
Okay. So we'll say crime. How did the one crime you are talking about right now make YSL more popular in the streets?
I don't think it made YSL more popular.
Okay. How did it increase the notoriety of YSL?
I don't think it increased it either.
How did it improve or
it didn't
increase YSL's name in the streets?
It didn't improve or increase YSL name in the streets.
How did it boost the reputation of YSL?
It did not boost.
Interesting how he's answering these questions, because what he signed to was that they committed crimes intended to increase it. But he's saying the crimes didn't actually do that. Ooh, okay. We might have a little something here. Another loophole by one of their witnesses. Who picked these witnesses, man?
What now?
It did not boost the whatever you just said.
Good morning, Lady Diva.
And how did it improve or increase the street credibility of YSL?
It didn't do that either.
Is it your testimony today that you know of no one who committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? I need to understand that.
The crime that were committed, I don't think it was to do nothing with YSL, to boost the credibility of the street. There was none of that.
I'm not talking about that weren't done to increase the street credibility, notoriety, and reputation.
What I'm saying to you.
Hold on. Let me just ask the question. I'm not talking about crimes that were not done.
Your Honor, I'm going to object, asked and answered. He's answered this question.
Overruled.
Come on.
I'm not talking about crimes that were not done to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL. So we can put all of the stuff that wasn't done for that purpose out of your mind. Just tell the jury how did you intend for the crimes that were committed to increase the street credibility, notoriety, and
Your Honor,
reputation?
I'm going to object. That's facts, not evidence. He has repeatedly said there were no crimes committed, and she is assuming crimes were committed on behalf of YSL in her question.
Sustained.
Is it your testimony today? Let me rephrase. Do you know of 3 or more members or associates of YSL who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL?
No.
About to lock his ass up.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a member or associate of YSL? Either one, either a member or an associate of YSL.
I plead guilty to affiliated to YSL.
Let's put that out of your mind. I'm asking you here today, right now, do you consider yourself a member of YSL? Let's break it down.
Yes.
Okay. And on December 28th, 2022, did you consider yourself a member of YSL?
Well, that's what y'all had me charged with.
We not.
Yes.
That's not
yes.
part of the charge.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And how long have you been a member of YSL?
I don't recall exactly how many years it's been.
Do you remember what year you first became a member of YSL?
No, I remember. I don't remember the year that he first started saying what YSL. I don't remember.
Would showing you a document with your writing on it and a year on it that you signed on December 28, 2022, refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to approach the witness with what I will mark as State's Exhibit number 444 Yankee. And I will show it to counsel for either the defendants who wish to see.
Is it going to be the plea deal? What do y'all think it is? Because we were talking about the plea deal being entered as evidence. And I mentioned to, who was it? I mentioned to somebody that the plea deal can be allowed under certain circumstances as evidence. I said that to, it's too far back. Gwen.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. I wrote on the one that I have, so I want to make sure I give him the clean copy.
This is out. I gotta stop coaching up the prosecution. They're watching the live streams. I gotta start coaching them up, man. Kimya says it's a police report. Gunn is on the witness list. He could be called. Yep. Yes, he wrote 2012. Y'all can see the plea here. Defendant has been a member and or associate of YSL since 2012 is what he agreed to. Let's skip ahead.
Version of the document that just shows the witness. With the court's permission, I'd like to approach the witness with an electronic version of the document that I've just shown. That we will label in paper form 444.
All right, go ahead.
And for the record.
Of course, our mic's not on. There we go.
For the record, I am showing the witness the third page of the document. So page 3 of 7. And the second blank under
Told
section
y'all.
4.
We called it. Page 3 of 7. Here we go. This should have been done an hour ago. Wasting the court's god darn time.
My wonderful team has come through and I have a paper copy. So I'm going to show you what has been marked State's Exhibit 444 Yankee. And I'm going to turn to page 3. Do not read any of this out loud.
Right.
I'm just going to point to the second blank under section 4.
Y'all see this? I'm not an attorney, man. Hey, where's the bar? Where's the bar at? Go ahead and give me my license. This is exactly what I said. This is exactly what I said they should be doing, and they did it. Go ahead and hook me up, bar.
And
Atlanta bar, where y'all at?
Does reading the second blank of the third page of 7 on State's 444 Yankee refresh your memory? Don't read it out loud.
Yes.
So, Mr. Sledge, would you please tell the jury how long you have been a member of YSL?
It's associated 2012.
Okay. When you say it says associated, what are you meaning?
That's what the plea agreement said.
We'll get to the document itself.
Right.
Right now, I'm asking you, since you've testified that you are currently a member of YSL, how long have you been a member of YSL?
Since 2012.
While associated with YSL, while a member, what have you done to support and express loyalty to YSL that was against the law?
Yeah.
What I pleaded guilty to a drive-by shooting.
I'm not talking about pleading guilty. I'm asking you specifically to please tell the jury.
Thank you, Dag.
What crimes have you committed to express loyalty and support to YSL?
I just answered.
Overruled.
I just answered.
You have not answered the question, sir.
I need you to expressly tell the jury what crimes you have committed to express loyalty and support to YSL.
I don't remember exactly all of them, but I know aggravated battery was one of them. Aggravated assault. Could you refresh my memory? Because I don't remember all the charges I had. There was a lot of charges.
Do you remember what you did, though?
I drove a car.
So how, when you say you drove a car, how does that lead to your committing aggravated battery and aggravated assault to express loyalty and support for YSL?
I wouldn't say YSL. I say it was basically helping Demika Gunner and Quindarius Zachary.
Have you ever stated that you committed a drive-by shooting to express support and loyalty to YSL?
Uh-oh.
Yes, because I pleaded guilty in 2017.
Regardless of your guilty plea, I'm not talking about.
Well, that's the reason I signed that question.
Okay.
We don't want another reason.
So since
Answer
I
the
haven't
question.
referenced a question for the jury, I'm trying to keep the record clear, okay? I'm just asking you about acts that you committed that were done to express support and loyalty to YSL.
I just said that.
Hang on a second.
Third question, ask the same question. The gentleman's giving the same.
She's talking about number 4 here, y'all.
I'm
April
going to let
28,
her
2015.
proceed with this.
Muntu, Demikian Garland, and
So you may go ahead.
Quindarius Zachary
How
committed a drive-by. He initialed it.
does
and signed it.
driving a car lead to committing aggravated battery and aggravated assault to express loyalty and support for YSL?
You losing me because I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say, it probably for people who claim to be YSL, if you want to use that as a refer.
I understand that you understand what I'm saying, but I'm asking for the jury's sake, okay? If you can just tell them how driving a car leads to an aggravated battery and an aggravated assault committed to express loyalty and support for YSL.
So you want me to explain to what happened?
I want you to explain how one leads to the other, how it leads to expressing support and loyalty for YSL.
I don't know, my love. I don't even think when I read the plea agreement, I was understanding. I think I was just signing.
I want you to put out of your mind any agreement, and I'm asking you here today.
In no way, then.
In no way?
No way.
So who is it that you know who committed a drive-by shooting to support and express loyalty to YSL?
I already answered that question for you.
Would you answer it again then? I might have missed it.
Me, Garlington, and Zachary.
So given that you, Garlington, and Zachary committed a drive-by shooting to support and express loyalty to YSL, please explain to the jury how you personally intended for that criminal act to express loyalty and support for YSL.
I already told you, my brother, one to express for YSL It was just an incident. You making it seem like the crime we committed was for YSL. Yes, I did sign that. I understand what you're saying. I initiate on that question. I'm most definitely initiate on it.
Mr. Sledge, since you're referencing that, and by that, just for the record, I believe that you're referring to 444 Yankee, the document that I just brought to you.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about that for a little bit, okay?
Yeah, go with that.
Earlier this morning, you asked if you could be allowed to speak with your attorney. Did you not?
Yes.
Did you get a chance to speak with your attorney?
Yes.
How long have you had that attorney?
You said how long have you been my attorney, period?
Yes.
Here we go.
I don't know, a lot of years.
She's getting into it now. Yep.
Does a lot of years mean more than 5?
Yes, more than 5. About 15 or better.
And is it a safe assumption to say that you trust your attorney?
Yes.
Okay. And since you're referencing 444 Yankee and you're referencing signing it, did you have access to your attorney at the time you signed it?
Yes. But also, when I
shut it down, Miss Love,
brought to my attorney attention about that document and told him that that wasn't correct, he came back to me and told me, you said initial, and then I'll be able to explain when I come here today.
they let these witnesses talk to
Mr. Sledge, please tell the jury whether you requested certain items that were different than what is contained in 444 Yankee to be either changed or removed from that document before you signed it.
When I tried to get it changed, he came back to me and said that you wouldn't change it. Them is exact words to me. When I brought a concern about it, he came back to me and say, you wouldn't change it.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand the question that I'm asking you?
Yes.
Would you please tell the jury whether there were changes
No, it was
to
no
this
change.
document
There was no change.
that you personally requested through your attorney?
Yes, and you didn't change it.
Is it your testimony that no changes were made to that document
No change was made to my
from its original form?
No.
I'm going to show you just... now, are you saying no definitely or no you don't remember?
I don't remember, but I think most definitely you didn't change it.
I'm going to show you page 6 of 7 on states 444 Yankee at section 5. If either counsel needs to see it, I'd like to.
Yeah, right.
You may.
Okay.
Yes, can you step outside into the hallway, please?
Oh, might be time for lunch. Oh, dang, they made him turn off the camera? What happened? It might be time for lunch. Let me see. Rodney said, whose team am I on? Do I have to be on the team? Let me say this to answer that question. I think this needs to be a mistrial. This trial should have been over. Too many missteps, too many errors. So they need to let those guys go. And if they want to try again, fine. But this trial has been anything but fair. So if you want to ask me whose team I am, I just want to see a fair trial and have the evidence be presented cleanly. But coming back, bringing a witness up, having an ex parte meeting, telling the jury to disregard his testimony, all these back and forths. Yeah. Freddie Harris said, Classy Beats, tell him you just on the team that's right if you're right. I want to see the evidence and see a clean trial.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have some issues to hash through at lunch. It's lunchtime now, so we're going to take our lunch break now, and let's plan to be back. Does everybody think 1:30 gives everybody enough time to do what they need to do? Or
all right, we're going to take a lunch. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a few calls here, and then we can take lunch. Hold on, y'all.
1:30, 1:45, 1:30. Okay. We'll see everybody back at 1:30. Thank you.
Yeah, this trial has been anything but fair. So that's where I stand. If y'all want to know whose side I'm on.
Who's A. Williams that was trying to get into the Zoom? Okay, sorry. So Miss Persfield obviously is not with us right now, so my JA is trying to run it and was like, who is this one? Okay.
They're definitely going to appeal this.
All right. We will, unless there's,
Kim's
does
already
anybody need
convicted them.
anything put on the record right now? All right, then we'll just break for lunch. Y'all handle the things that we discussed at the bench, and I'll see everybody back at 1:30.
Hey, Kim, I got a question for you. Kim says, cannot let killers go, especially a Rico. So you were over here showing so much appreciation and giving love, her flowers and all this stuff. What do you think Lil Woody's part in this? What do you think Little Woody's part is in this, Kim? Because they gave that guy immunity. And they told him all he has to do is testify, and anything he did, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So and there aren't many, to any or the one Miss Love defender in here, how do you feel about the state giving Woody immunity? When it's clear that he was involved in a lot of this stuff that went on. The defense even pointed out he could have possibly been involved in some of the people who lost their life. So what do you think about that? You think Miss Love made the right choice in giving Woody immunity? Renee says free pass. I mean, if you want to talk about, if you want to be real, how do you explain that one? Well, right choice for who? PM says right choice for who? Well, she says can't not let killers go, especially a Rico. So Kim has she's already agreed that, or she's already convicted everybody who's in here. She says they're killers, right? And if Woody was a part of that, then okay, here we go. It says Woody and the rest all charged. Woody and the rest? What? All charged are a victim to a large picture. Immunity is needed for the most vulnerable one. Yes, to the Woody immunity.
Stop the cap.
Okay, so you're giving the state a pass for that one. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I appreciate the response. I completely and 1000% disagree. You can't say, oh, well, we must have justice, but you can give somebody who was heavily involved immunity to get these other guys. What? Yeah, get out of here. All right, let me call back 706.
Yo.
Oh, what's up, 706? Who am I speaking with?
Jonah.
Oh, Jonah's in the building. And you know what? I just realized this is going to be super loud. Jonah, what's good, man?
What's up, man? Been watching, and it's horrible right now. Looking real bad. I mean,
looking bad for who? You gotta clarify.
Man, it's looking bad for just the case in general. Like, this is like you don't want to be the judge on this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already a crash. Like, with the case in general, like, they ain't got enough information. They using testimonies against the witnesses, and you know what I'm saying? Like, they're using their testimonies against them. Then they're also using like the plea agreements against them, and it's like, and he's like, oh, I didn't say that. Oh, but I know I signed it, but I didn't say it. And he's just like, it's wilding, man. Like, what's going on? How is it that this is the only evidence they got against Young Thug, and they don't even got the evidence against Young Thug?
It's a lot of pillow talking, it seems like.
A lot of pillow talking, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's looking real bad in general. Like, there's not a lot going on with the case, and they're trying to like connect it to YSL, but they ain't got enough proof to connect it to YSL. They only got the crimes that the YSL members did, but you know, now they're trying to like, oh, it's still a RICO, but it's really not though, because they don't really got much to prove on it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch and see how they're trying so hard to put all these pieces together to point at Thug, to when it really seems like these dudes were out here doing drugs, they had some guns, were making music, and all the other stuff that happened is outside of Thug, in my opinion.
And then Woody came out with the homicide. I'm like, wild him. Like, that's a bad look.
Yo, yeah, I want to ask, you know,
that's a real bad look.
That's bad. That's really, really bad, man. I agree.
We know that Woody does not care, right? But still, that it's a bad look. I mean, how you the one that testifying, and he's like, oh, I got plea. Like, he got a agreement with the state, and he don't even care about that, because he's over here posting this. He's like you gonna have more cases on you. It's not just one case that you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna end up putting more cases in. Like, he's gonna be back in, bro. He's gonna put himself in. It's not even gonna be.
I hope not, man.
He's gonna slip up. He's gonna slip up.
I hope not. I mean, he's got the immunity. It looks like
Woody might have the immunity deal, but he's not Superman. You feel me?
Yeah, you're right.
He's like Superman in the hood right now, but like when he gets out, like you know what I'm saying? It's another world.
Well, and that's the thing. Just to Woody's credit, though, he really was pushing to turn his life around. I mean, you can see how when his crime or when his involvement with the system actually peaked, and then it started to go down from there, but he kept getting brought back in for questioning. Then they had the shooting happen, and he was talking to the police, and then he had the gun in his bag while he was trying to play basketball. As we say in the chat, you know, so
bad luck, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just once you get in this system, you got a target on your back at all times, and especially
that's what I'm saying. They're not trying to get him out.
Yeah, especially with the involvement that he had in this RICO trial. They knew he was going to talk.
But like, do you think that they got Young Thug in like a good like location, because like he's not getting stabbed? You feel me? Like, he got security. He got to have security in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know where Thug is.
He's not on Rice Street. He's not on Rice Street. You know what I mean?
No, he's not in Fulton County at all. So he's somewhere nice. They're taking care of him.
But that's crazy though. But man, they better, bro. They ain't got nothing on him yet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't proved anything yet. You feel me? So it's just like they need to be giving that man like. They need to give him bond, bro. It's crazy that he ain't got bond yet. It's crazy.
Yeah, and Judge Whitaker, she she reviewed it and she said the initial denial of the bond stands, so they ain't going nowhere. Oh, he's in
We
Cobb
already know
County.
that, man.
Okay.
We already know the system corrupt as it is, man.
Yeah. I it's hard to watch, man, but it looks like they might be able to get out of this one if these the kind of witnesses that the state's going to keep calling. But I'm gonna get
Oh man, these are horrible witnesses.
Yeah, they're looking really bad,
Crazy.
especially this morning. I mean, this man doesn't even want to.
The witnesses look like they were the ones that were not the witnesses. They were the ones that actually did the crime. You feel me?
Talk about it.
That's what it's looking like. That's what it's looking like, man. So you know what I mean. Stay tuned. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Jonah, man. Thanks for calling in. You can call in anytime. I always appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts.
1,000.
All right, talk to you later. Peace.
All right, ciao.
All right, let me get 646 in here. And I'll be reading the super chats shortly as well. Thank you for the update, Elizabeth, right?
Hello.
Yo, 646, what's up with you?
Hey, this is Bear from New York.
This is Bill?
Bear, like the animal, Bear.
Oh, shout out to Bear from New York, man. I hear the accent. I was gonna say Texas, but you kind of threw me off there. What's on your mind, man?
Yo, this case, man, like I've never been on a crazier roller coaster. Like I thought the Johnny Depp case was crazy, but this one, whew, boy.
Yeah.
But I even though this is the most relevant case, I think a bigger conversations need to be had about how the RICO in total is just like a dirty game. Like it's just how it traps you and traps everyone into being in this dark space to where you basically have to become crabs in a barrel and fend for yourself at any cost because of these big numbers that get thrown at you. What do you think?
I think the whole thing is a sham. I mean, we've already seen that. I mentioned on yesterday's live stream that Thug's name has been mentioned very few times throughout the several weeks we've had these witnesses on the stand. It seems like the state's been trying to go at the integrity of the witnesses and questioning the witnesses more than they've been able to show that Thug was involved in a significant way. Other than the fact that he had a rental car and then he hired this guy to work security for him. And then the other guy, Lil Woody, he had close to him and he was showing them the world, trying to help him with his rap career, got him a lawyer when he got locked up. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what their point is here. And this RICO charge just seems like it was forced. All of these indictments should be just removed and severed and tried individually. But Fanny, it seems like she wants to get this RICO. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Man. I'm really conflicted though, and what's really conflicting me is that as a dude that played in the streets a little bit, I could say like it's really sad to see these systems and these laws in place that's like taking our brothers away, but at the same time it's like it cuts both ways because now as an older gentleman and a person living and trying to do great in society now with a child, like are these punishments like 15 years of probation and 30 years just because you was in a car or whatever, are those good punishments to keep to deter others or to keep that individual in a straight and narrow line? Like I don't know, like
no,
am I making sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, it's just how it's up to the state to be able to put all of this together, and they're not doing a good job. I mean, that's the long and short of it. So I'm not seeing it at all. I'm with you on that for sure.
I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I'm so happy to talk to you and hope to be a regular.
Hey,
what you're doing. Thank you
appreciate
very
you.
much.
Appreciate you, Bear. And you can call in anytime. Respect and shout out to everybody out there in New York. I appreciate you.
You already know, Harlem, baby.
All right. Take care, man. All right. We've got 830 is in the building.
Republic Tea Room, Melinda.
To accept, press 1.
Oh, I was hoping to get Melinda in here from the Republic Tea Room. Shout out and good morning / afternoon to Melinda. What's on your mind? Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, of course. Good morning. Good morning to you and hello to the chat. Yeah, I wanted to say about these contracts. I think that probably some of the pleas need to be looked into, but apparently they are legal. And it's like, it really, I guess, is a lesson to everybody that even though Miss Love is insufferable, it's like she has, you don't want people like that or a system to have that kind of leverage over you. And I think that that's, you know, like these guys are committing crimes, you know, and even though I really is still kind of in this place of they look like they're targeting, you know, that they want a RICO case, and I think that it is political. I do believe they're targeting the most criminally vulnerable. When I say vulnerable, I just mean that, you know, it's easy to nab up a little Woody or, you know, or this guy in Lamuntu, you know, because they're so compromised.
Yes.
But it's like, you know, we do have to be careful about, even Woody got emotional, like on the stand. I didn't have the compassion I think a lot of people were having, because he also is using that to, like Mr. Bean did. You know, my life has changed since then, but it's like, yeah, but it's kind of like these chickens are coming home to roost, and somehow.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're coming home to roost, and then you signed it. And to take a plea, I think no one ever should commit yourself to 15 years of anything. You know, I mean, even 5, because if you're living in that same area, you've not made much change in your life, you know, you're not settling down and living on the right path. I believe the state will be so dirty as to, you're in their web. That's the way I look at it. You know, the older I've gotten, I guess me and paranoid I've gotten when it comes to even watching this case. This really is scary, because I don't think the state's done with Woody yet. I don't think they're done with this guy or anyone else. I think they'll really make them pay for kind of turning against them. I think they're that low.
Yeah, I agree with you 1000%. And they've already showed some of the ways they're going to continue to bring up past testimony this morning with Antonio Sledge. They've shown that they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure these guys give them what they said they were going to do. So it seems like Miss Love's going to keep hammering away at this plea deal that Mr. Sledge signed. And I think this is going to be the toughest one moving forward, because he admits to a lot just in that plea deal alone. So can she get him to say it on the stand? I think she will, but yeah, it's not looking great right now.
But do you think that, I got one more question for you. Yeah. Do you believe that Woody's testimony really made, I mean, I guess take apart just the law part over the legal part, that these are still jurors and that they're human beings, that Miss Love and Miss Hilton, this just looks bad, and Fonnie, it all just looks bad. And so do you think that because they're so unlikable and they're seeing these guys as maybe their sons or their brothers, and they could have gotten caught up, do you think that any of this is mattering, like whatever these guys signed to the jury?
When it comes to Lil Woody, or you're talking about Antonio Sledge, or both?
Or any of them, because to me, Lil Woody's testimony almost, I mean, the way he talked about Miss Love, like how desperate she was, and that really made Miss Love look bad. It looked like we'll do anything to get this testimony. Yeah. And so, yeah.
From the state standpoint, Little Woody's testimony was absolute garbage. It did them way more harm than good. And then Max Sharp did an excellent job of bringing into question how much of of a factor Woody had into everything that went down, and brought question into, was Thug really involved into that? So Max Sharp did a great job with that. Brian Steele set it up by saying, hey, Woody, you said Thug was here when you already told us you were lying to the police. And it turned out you were, in fact, lying to the police, and Thug was never there. He said, yeah, that's what I said. Thug, I just brought up Thug's name because I knew he had money. I knew he would hire you, and I knew he would show up to court and fight this and be fine, and I could get out of jail. So Woody's testimony for the state it was terrible, and I think it made them look really bad. In this instance, I think it's a little too early to tell if Miss Love goes about her questioning the right way. I think Antonio Sledge could be a win for them as long as they're able to get him to stay in front of the jury. A lot of the things he said are factual acknowledgments in his plea deal. So we've got to see how this plays out. So far, she's not doing a great job. He's been combative. Right. He hasn't wanted to answer the questions about YSL being a gang. So I think that's a little bit telling, but I think they'll regroup during lunch and maybe she'll come out a little bit stronger. We'll see.
Who do you think murked Donovan Thomas?
Oh, man.
Do you think it was Woody? You don't have to answer me. Do you think it was Woody, that he was the one that?
I think.
The argument.
I think there's a lot more to this than we'll know. And I think the story that we've heard presented by the state is not the story of what actually went down, because there's too many moving parts. There's too many moving pieces. There's too many people who were most likely more involved in this that aren't being questioned. So when it comes to what I've seen from the state so far, I just have to say I don't know, because the state hasn't shown it, and the defense. But I will say this: the defense has made it clear to me at this point that Young Thug, he's not the one that wanted Big Nut killed or was involved in this, because there's too many other things surrounding this that say Thug was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, in my opinion.
I see. And what could have, my last one, what could happen to these guys? Because has anyone addressed that they are they perjuring themselves, or is it the impeachment? Like, what's going to happen now, because they're obviously going against these agreements so far?
Yeah. So if with Woody, I think he's fine so far. He hasn't lied on the stand from what I've seen, other than him saying he can't read. But I don't know if that's enough to revoke his immunity. When it comes to this plea deal by Mr. Sledge, he's walking a fine line. He's answering the questions pretty well. So it seems like his lawyer prepped him as far as being able to not admit certain things but still answer the question. But he's gonna have, if Miss Love is able to ask her questions the right way, he's gonna have to answer these questions. And if he doesn't answer the questions, and if he says what he acknowledged in his plea deal isn't true, then he's gonna end up getting locked up. I mean, that's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
all
bad.
right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for calling in. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And do you have,
all right.
Melinda, do you have a YouTube channel?
It's kind of closed down. It was a little political channel, but I have it on private. Yeah.
All right. Well, y'all go check out the Republic Tea Room. Thank you for calling in, Melinda. You can call in anytime.
Thank
all right.
You.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. We're going to go have some lunch. I'm going to read some super chats, and then we will get up out of here. Thank y'all to everybody who liked the video and sent in super chats as well. It really does help the channel continue to grow, and y'all don't have to do it, but you've been continuing to show so much love. We've got, let me see. There it is. Real 12 Studios is in the building, drops a 5-bomb and says, testimony to a jury is greater than a plea agreement. Plea agreements can be brought up by duress, confusion, or other instances. My opinion. I agree. The issue you run into is, even though you sign it, if Miss Love can get him to stay on the stand, okay, yeah, I signed it under duress. Okay, that's fine. But were there crimes involved? and he talks about those crimes were involved and why they were done to further YSL. And then she talks about the drive-by shooting, why that was done to further YSL. I mean, it's not gonna be great. So I'm with you on that. The plea agreement is gonna play a big part into just getting him to say certain things before the jury. So shout out to Elizabeth Wright dropping the 5 bomb. I appreciate you. We've got the franchise. I see you over there. Says, why is she acting like the only motive to commit a crime is clout and nothing else? The reason she's going this way is because they're trying to show YSL as a gang. And like it's this big crime organization. And if you want to be in YSL, you got to be down and dirty in the gutter, committing crime, selling drugs, committing drive-bys and all this stuff. So that's why she's trying to paint this picture, because she's walking down the road to the RICO charge and YSL being the gang. We've got Dag Nabbit up in here from Boston. Says, love your coverage. Thank you, Dag Nabbit. I appreciate it. Elizabeth Wright with another one. Okay. Says, prayers for Appalachia High School, multiple casualties reported. Oh, wow. Oh, that's terrible. I'm gonna have to look up more information on that, and maybe we'll talk about it after lunch. Definitely prayers go out to the high school. What is going? I'm gonna look that up during lunch. They're in Winder, Georgia. And there were some casualties too. Yeah, y'all pray for Appalachia High School. That's terrible. Yeah, definitely gonna have to say a prayer for them, and I'll update y'all on what's happening there after lunch. Also, we've got MH Cassidy drops the 10 bomb. I appreciate you. Says, when Antonio Sledge signed this plea deal in 2017, he signed it in 2022. Did he know that he would have to take the stand in future RICO? So probation, 30 years, no smoking weed, no alcohol, especially when he's 60 plus with a key choice thing. Yeah, he signed this on December 28th, I believe. December 28th of 2022. So yeah, this was all while the RICO was going on. And he's like, nah, I'm out. What y'all need me to say? I'm not trying to be sitting up here for 2 years. I'll do my 15 plus a possible another 15 probation, and I'll be out here doing my thing, try and keep my nose clean. So he knew. Mr. Tesla's in here, drops the 2 bomb. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And then we've got Rack Racer Monty in here with the 20 bomb. Just saying we're number 1. I appreciate you, Rack Racer. Thank you. All right. Let me see. I'm going to read a couple more things. Oh, that's a high school in Barrow. Okay. Yeah, I got you. Dang, that's terrible. Ah, man. Yeah, that's so sad. Comment says, ClassE, I think you're missing it. Love is now in trouble for not fixing the plea agreement for him. Nah. I don't think so. We'll see where she goes with that, but Amy said the case.
What did he say?
Shout out to the Elite 9. Amy is over there wilding. Let me see. Kimya said, ClassE Beat, so you just said you don't think the immunity will be revoked, but earlier you disagreed. Yes. Not sure what you're referring to, but yes, I'll just say yes. Rodney says, ClassE Beat's feelings are mutual on the team. Just seems to me Love and Hilton are reaching on the RICO. All of their witnesses seem to be on trial. The defense is killing all these witnesses. I mean, they're dropping like flies. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let me see what else. That 30-year plea deal is insane. Absolutely. And then Mr. Brown, the birthday boys in here, said Glanville and Love strikes again. Yeah, they put this plea deal together. It's garbage. Absolutely terrible. All right, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all take a little bit of lunch break. We'll be back here in about an hour. They say they're gonna start at 1:30, but we know that's not gonna be the case. So we'll be back here at 1:45, maybe for another hour, hour and a half, and then we'll keep it moving. If y'all could, make sure you like the video on your way out. Thank you so much to everyone who liked the video. Over 3,800 of y'all hit that like button. Hope y'all have a great lunch. I'll see you here in an hour. And if you haven't yet subscribed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any time we drop a new video or go live. I will see y'all in a minute. You know what to do. Keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, y'all are asking. Hold on a second. Y'all are asking some more questions. Let me see. Oh, y'all are just saying, Amy, oh my gosh. Young says, where's the Cash App? The Cash App is in the description. Shout out to Young. I appreciate you asking. Lauren says, happy lunch, folks. See y'all after my nap. Ooh, a nap sounds good. Amy says lunchtime. All right, y'all get up. Y'all get on up out of here. I'll see you in a minute. There you go.